It's going to be a crappy show. Might even be a short show. Because Cappy, I don't think I got the flu. I got a cold. I think I got a cold. And just started as that. It starts like it always does. You don't get enough sleep. That's how it started. Because I had to go out to Donovan Sharp's show in Philadelphia, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that. And the guy got me a first class ticket. I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. That's aces. A guy, what that's like getting a top end scotch. But he gives you a 20-year-old bottle of scotch. That's the league that's in. So I was really looking forward to it. What I'm also looking for, and this is a little tip to you younger boys out there, because again, girls don't listen, but if they did, then you'd actually close the wage gap. You want to spend the extra $10 or $15 on a flight that allows you to wake up, get a good night's rest. I mean, yeah, you can get the red-eye flight back from Vegas. You can get the 5 a.m. flight out of Chicago if you want and save yourself 10, 20, even $30, but it ain't worth waking up at 3 a.m., taxing your body, and you get sick. And man, this is like the second or third time they got sick. Now, Donovan did buy me a flight I was really excited about because not only was it first class, but it was like at 1 p.m. All right, get my sleep, get my coffee, get to the airport, maybe find a little bit of a snack somewhere, just sit, maybe have another espresso at the Dunkin' Donuts, sit at the chair, do my brilliant writing, taking the genius from this brain and putting it on paper so all you plebes can appreciate what I write. And I get in and like, oh, sir, your flight's already taken off. I'm like, taken off? I panic, I look, what? No, it says like, oh, yeah, sir. Well, it was rescheduled. And it was just one where you just, in a nanosecond, your brain knew, oh, this is where they spread my ass cheeks and they shoved a glass dildo up my ass. Not the people at American Airlines, just the world. For whatever reason, the world decided that day, we're going to strap on the broken glass dildo and fuck Aaron in the ass. That's what that's what was decided at the communal board at Amsterdam or Basel, whatever the hell the wannabe tyrants are over in Europe. And I'm like, and I was going to be chill. I was going to be a stoic because I didn't have to be there. The interview wasn't until the next day. And they said, well, we'll get you on another flight. I said, okay, fine. And they got me on another flight. And and because the flight had been delayed, I landed in Philadelphia where the rental car place. Oh, that's another story. The rental car place was closed at 6 p.m. because nobody lands at Philadelphia International after 6 p.m., right? And it serves me right. The quarter Jewish blood I had, I went with pay less. And I caught much flack. Jesus Christ, you goddamn Jew. Like, hey, and I thought it was a commodity. Like rental cars, they are a commodity. Ultimately, doesn't matter. And so I had to Uber it, and it became, and then I had to go 30 miles into Jersey. And I'm like, okay. And then I had Vince from Masculine Geeks drive. He was bored. He had nothing else. Said, yeah, let's drive you to the car rental place. So I knew North Philly was bad. I had no idea what I presumed we had to be on South Philly because I knew you saw downtown. South of downtown is where the Philadelphia Phillies and the Eagles, the two sports ball stadiums, are. In this area, somebody who's more familiar with the Philadelphia area could tell me where I was. But we went over 76. We hit some road and we're going past a bunch of oil refineries. There was a skeleton of an oil tank. It was kind of interesting looking. Then we must have driven past a street full of chop shops because there were cars and people running and hustling and they weren't working. And I was like junkyards. We banked to the southwest and we turn in and I'm just looking at all. It was not as bad as the north side, but it was pretty bad. And just people driving dumb, stopping in the middle of the road, the panhandlers on the street, graffiti. And so we pull up to the Payless. Somebody look it up. It's the one near the airport, Norwich. And I already had my economic spidey senses tingling. Not because I'm like, oh, this is a poor place, but like there's going to be logistical problems here. because my flight out was the next day. And here's the other thing. And because my first flight, they consolidated them, I find out later. They didn't have enough flights to make all 3 flights profitable, so they consolidated them down. So my flight out the next day was not at the convenient luxurious time of 1 p.m. It was going to be at 9 a.m. Was it 9 I got out of there? Which means you have to be there at 7:30, which means you have to get there. You have to wake up at like 6:30 to get ready, and then the half an hour drive. But then I started doing the math. I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't the, like major international airports will have usually a carousel or an area where all the major car rental places, and there's a shuttle that reliably goes back and forth. Well, this wasn't it. This was a standalone rink-a-dink sole operator. And I'm pulling up. It says shuttle service, and the sign is a little bent and it looked a little rusty. I'm like, wait a minute. So I got to rely on their shuttle? They weren't even open at 6 p.m. Are they going to be open at 5:30, 6:30 a.m.? How long does the shuttle take? And so the last straw is like when I walked in, and you guys know this, the number one cause of all problems in the world is people. And I walked in, I looked, and I just saw the people behind the desk. I'm like, oh, fuck no. Oh, hell no. I will miss my flight. I now have to rely on too many people who yes, I am looking at them. I'm looking at the way they're dressed. I'm looking at how deep the rental place was, like how many customers, how quick are they getting the customers through? What if everyone else had the same idea? I show up on time at 5:30 a.m. and there's a line and they got Bipsy, just one person employed. What if it's not open? And so I just turned around, walked out. Like, yeah, if it's not, no. I'll take an Uber or something. He was kind enough to drive me early in the morning. And I just knew that was the best. We both, it was like, no way. It's just no way. The fact you're in this shitty of a neighborhood means you have not managed your money. You're probably not a profitable operation, or at least a very reliable operation. Who knows? Maybe Payless is the best car play. But I looked at it and I'm like, there are too many moving parts and too many people that cannot fuck up their job. Which one of them's going to? One of them is going to. And I'm just, nope, I'm not missing another flight and being stuck in Philly. So I had to wake up early. And by that time, you could feel the tingle in the back of your throat. Like, fine. Me and Donovan have been talking 2 hours on this show. It's like, is that just my voice going? No, nope. Then you got that coppery taste. Like, shit. And what is this? What is this? Your device needs, no, it doesn't fucking need the restart. Fuck. All you nerds that want to get laid. Every possible constant update on every possible email, notification, app, and hardware now. So I think I woke up at 5:30 because you're not going to, when's the next time I'm going to be in Philly? So we're going to get breakfast. Woke up at 5:30. I even went to bed at a decent hour. Didn't matter. Just woke up like, it's worse than a hangover. Just, get up. Vince picks me up. We go to the diner. Diner's not open. Says they're open on the internet, not open. Once again, somebody fucked up. Wasting our time. See? And you can't miss 5 minutes on this to get to that airplane on time. Diner is even fucking open. That was in somewhere in New Jersey. All right. I'm not relying on ghetto version 2.0 of Philadelphia to have its act together. So we went to a Dunkin' Donuts, just sat there, basically just miserable. Like, fuck. Get on the plane, and I wasn't feeling better. I wasn't dying. I mean, I'm not like, it's not like the man cold. If you want to see a funny British skit on the internet, look up man cold. Don't you understand? He has a man cold, you heartless woman. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, yeah, I got a little something, cough, coppery smell. And I even got good sleep today. Got good sleep. But no, I'm tired. And now we're here. And then I get back to this life. I'm not saying my life, but to life. See, because even though we all have different jobs, right? There's some of you who have real jobs. I have this weird, fucked up job, but it's still a job. Donovan and I were talking about, everyone thinks, oh, it's just come on and fart on the internet. And you should see Donovan's studio, man. This guy's put a ton of, there was 15 minutes of prep. A lot of stuff goes behind it. Certainly more if you have more electronic equipment, but he's doing about 90 hours a week. I was doing about 60, 70. And you just keep like you guys though, too. It's everybody does it. All of a sudden you keep pushing this stuff back. Like how many of you guys who are 40 plus had the finger up your ass? Have you guys got the finger up your ass? Every guy I know who's on top of his game, oh yeah, I got to do that. And I understand why you don't want to. I mean, there's a subconscious reason that's not exactly number one on your to-do list. You got to do it, man. Oil changes, battery, coolant, all the little boring tedium of car maintenance. Well, it's your body too. Your body's more important than the car. But I'm guilty. I haven't had my eyes checked in over 10 years. I noticed me, my right eye isn't working that well. Like, what if it's one of those things that, if we just caught it 2 weeks earlier, you wouldn't be blind for the rest of your life. And it's you got to go in every fucking. I've been really good about getting the annual checkup. Turn left, cough, look in the ear, look up the nose, breathe, stick your tongue out, say Oh man, there was. The one time I had a hot doctor. Of course she goes away. Of course. That was an incentive to go to. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, annual checkup, Tao. Yeah. I hope Doctor, whatever her name was. She left. I only got her once. But you go in, it's the same thing with flying on the airlines. What has never happened in my life, and it'll never happen in your life. It only happens in the movies, and it doesn't happen in the real world at all. Is you get to sit down at the flight, right? And all the times I've flown, which is a significant amount, you're always like, oh, maybe this hot chick that sits next to me, and I have her as a hostage to talk to and show her my charm. Never happens. I've had every variant of human being on the face of the earth sit next to me except a hot chick. Fat chicks, old chicks, fat men, skinny men, young boys, young girls, old women, old men, black dudes, Hispanic dudes, Asian dudes, Asian chicks, none of which were hot. White chicks, none of which were hot. Black chicks, none of which were hot. Old chicks that at one point in their time were hot back then, but not at that current moment in time now. Never just like, oh, hey, all right. Not even that I'd hit on her. It'd just be like, nice to see a hot chick. And Jesus Christ, you want to be depressed about humanity? Go walk through Philadelphia airport. I thought Walmart was bad. Where it's like, beauty, excellence, achievement, just beauty in a general sense. Oh man, Philadelphia is just full of fat, ugly people wearing sweatpants. It was like the Spirit airline gate, which smells like a locker room in Vegas because everyone's drunk and they're poor. Okay. Okay. But you get up there like, hey, it smells like feet. All right. Oh, I am at the Spirit Gate. All right. That's the entire airport in Philadelphia. Maybe the whole town. I don't know. So what the hell was I talking about? I forgot. I went off on a tangent. Anyway, so oh, that's right. The health. So I postponed ear appointment, eye appointment. I do have the annual checkup, and then there was the hot chick. She went away. Just like like you can't, oh God, we can't have a hot doctor. Christ, no. She's gone. So then I get this old middle-aged guy, which was probably for the best, he's the guy who shoved his finger up my ass. The only man to shove his finger up my ass was my doctor. But you guys got to do that. You got to go in and get that stuff checked up, even though you don't want to. And you know what you got to do? You just got to set aside a 2-week period where you're going to do it. Because I don't know about you, and I'm sure, in the olden days, we're all used to picking up the phone and calling. You call your buddy, you call the girl, you call this, you call that, you call for pizza, you call in, you have to call customer service. Now you're like, fuck, who's calling me? And you hate checking voicemail. I know people that shut down their voicemail. I might just do that. And it's just this not agitation. It certainly is that too, but it's almost a fear like, oh, because if somebody leaves you a voicemail, you're like, it's nothing good. It's just work. It's just a chore. It's just some pain in the ass thing. And so I had to call, and I have a lot of medical stuff I got to go. Well, maybe not a lot, but it's built up, and it's due for. I got to go and make sure that the liver is okay because I had that bump on it that was leading me to believe it was cancer. They were all somber and serious. They're like, oh no, that's just a belly button. You're fine. Really? I'm fine. All this. You could have said that. Anyway. So they got to check that later and make sure it's not growing. Because if it's growing, then it's something that's not cancer, I guess. It just like sometimes these things grow, and if they get too big as a percentage of liver, then your liver won't function anymore. It basically chokes out your liver, so that might be removed, which I wouldn't be looking forward to. But that's better than cancer, having a liver transplant, I'll tell you that. So there's that. Then I got to get my cholesterol checked, which I'll have that done in my regular checkup. I got to get my ears and eyes checked. And it's always calling. Wait on hold. I didn't even wait. Like the amount of time I wasted when I was a kid, sitting there like a kid, young man. Now I put on the headphones, I go run. I want to do something else. And pick. Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I was just busy doing taxes, staying on top of shit. Still hate it. Still hate calling. And so now I gotta go over to the Woodbury and have them do an ultrasound or something to look at the innards. And then I got to come back and make it. And that it just pisses me off. All this maintenance. Just this, you got to go do this. You got to go do that. Yeah, it doesn't even go to production. This is just to keep you alive and healthy. All this tedious maintenance. Set up this appointment here. Drive out there. Go do this there. And then I do it when I got a little bit of a cold. And so what Cappy's going to do is Cappy's going to take another couple weeks off. Because my first 2 weeks off, like when I went over to Wisconsin, I didn't do anything. I just recouped. I did pretty much nothing. Did a little bit of a road trip, visited my old man. We visited Dr. Perodin, visited one of Chad's friends. And I did some interviews. I did some very basic maintenance work that I already had to do. And I didn't write. I didn't write at all. I wrote a lot at the airport. That was fine. I didn't mind the delay at the airport. That was okay. I got almost an entire chapter banged out. So that book is about halfway done, maybe 45%, because I started thinking about, well, if I'm going to put the effort into it, I might as well include these rather important observations or things that be germane to the topic. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it was it's about time to take another 2 weeks off, I think. But this time to like go work on the book. Because once you get back, I got back to some asshole consulting. Oh, it was great. It's pothead week. Ran into 3 potheads. And guys, I could kind of tell, let me tell you, okay? Me being a professional, the world's only professional asshole, I can tell when there's something off. All right. And I'm almost good enough to tell whether you're a pothead or whether you have a genuine mental illness or whether you have no dad and you're just a pussy and you think you have a mental illness. I can delineate pretty much between the 3. But this past week was pothead week. And I could tell because you meander, you're not focused, you ask a bunch of different questions that had nothing to do with what you wrote before. And then you say, so should I do X, Y, and Z? And a lot of people will do that. I have here's my background. Here's my problem. Here's what I think my solutions are. What do you think? All right. And the potheads will more or less follow that, but there'll be no consistency between them. It won't be connected. They'll blather on about something. They'll talk about their problems. They'll go over their options. None of their options solve their problems. Has nothing to do with the problems. Oh, and by the way, your solutions are stupid and won't work. And they are quintessentially lazy. Quintessentially. And the pothead always wants to do what it wants to do. I'm not even calling it a him or a her because you don't deserve that what's the word I'm looking for? Compliment. You just don't want to work. I get it. You're dumbass, lazy fucks, and you don't want to work. And now you come to me kind of like these guys. How do I get the girls? Which should have below every question I hear that should have an asterisk without having to work at it, especially going to the gym. It's like, how do I get money doing a job that I don't have to work hard at or many hours that I like to do though anyway? So that I get all these just truly dumb, dopey, the word dopey, the epitomal, the exact use of the word, these dopey requests, these dopey ideas. And then you try to reason with a pothead or give them an answer. And so it's already, and don't worry, extra pricing is baked into these costs. Don't worry, you're being charged. If you can spend money on pot, sure as fuck you're going to spend money on me, assholes. So it's almost impossible to answer the question when the options they give you have no bearing, let alone answer or solve the questions or the problems these people have. So now I got to explain away why their options or their answers aren't going to work and say, put down the pot. And remove everything and say, put down the pot. And I think what I'm going to be doing going forward now is I think I'm going to do a pot special. That if I sense you are a pothead or on some kind of drugs, and when I get a request that indicates you've given no thought into this, you have problems, but then your solutions to these problems don't even address the problems, but are idealistic and bullshit, and you're looking for the lazy man's way out, I'm going to charge you a pothead price, and it's going to be $50, and you're going to pay that. Right? And then all my answer is going to be is put down the pot. Because there's no reason to consult you on anything else until you guys put down the pot. Then when you put down the pot and you clean out your system, and 2 weeks later, then you can email me again. Maybe I'll give you a little token, a pot token. Say, hey, Cappy, you said to put down the pot and you charged me $50 for it. Well, I've put down the pot. All right, now ask me your question. Then there's been, again, it's not just that I'm sick and tired and I got other work, like literally sick, then I'm also tired. Not I'm sick and tired, like, your parents. I'm sick and tired. Well, then why'd you have us, assholes? Not only because I'm sick and I'm tired, but the questions I got when I came back, I mean, some of them were good, of course, but man, it was Spurg week too. But I don't know if you guys have gone to my website. Even if you don't need Asshole Consulting, if you're bored, go to assholeconsulting.com and read through it. And it won't take you that long because I programmed it. And by program, I mean wrote it. I designed it to be very clear, very succinct, very precise, so there's no confusion or ambiguity. Only potheads and the Spurgs out there would be confused by this. And so if you just read through it, it's very clear what you have to do. Send the question here. After sending the question, I will contact you. And for the most part, I get 95% of the people to do that. I mean, we channel them, soup Nazi, assembly line, and this is how I keep prices low, because in the grand scheme of things, what I do is kind of quasi-therapy. Therapists will charge you $250 an hour. The fact that I am allowed to speak bluntly and truthfully to you and you do exactly as I say means I can keep prices down because I'm not fucking dealing with customer service. But there's that 5% that don't follow the rules and somehow manage to get it confused. They'll email me a Cappy Cap. They'll email me, hey, if I send you my question here, how do you, it's like, did you not read the file? Of course you didn't. Why? Because you're a lazy fuck. And that's where it's kind of like, maybe I should just do a lazy fuck $50. When you're done being a lazy fuck, come back and email me your question. Follow the instructions. And so there was a very high percent this week where I get a question and it was like, hey, is this how this works? Yeah, send me your fucking question. And already the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. When you hit send and I get an email, the clock is ticking. My time clock. Because I have to spend time. And if you're going to be a fuckwit and you're going to be lazy and you're not going to follow the instructions, the price keeps going up. That means more time I got to deal with you, and your price keeps going up and up and up. There's been people I've charged $75 for a question that if they just sent me the original question first and did so soberly, it would have been $35. Nope. There's a stupid price. You're going to pay a stupid price. You're going to pay the pothead price. The pothead premium. So then I'll get the request and then I'll send them a price. This happened this week, which doesn't normally happen. Then they try to haggle with me. Hey, I'm a kid and I don't have that much. Oh, well, you live at home. You don't pay rent. You know what? I should charge you twice what I. And now the price goes up again. I didn't know you charged me more money. Price goes up again. You just sent me this email wasting my fucking time. And the reason I can do that is because I have an opportunity cost. I can actually go make $100 an hour. And so every minute, every email, every waste of time, every grain of sand you throw into this engine, price keeps going up and up and up. And it's so fucking simple. Follow my fucking instructions. Stop being a bunch of women asking the same question 3 different ways, hoping you get the answer you want from your husband or your boyfriend or the man. Just take his fucking answer the first time around and accept that, no, he doesn't want premium in the gas tank. No, he doesn't want a grilled cheese sandwich. Well, why don't you want a grilled cheese sandwich? Like, fucking Christ, bitch. I got so much more important shit to do than to explain to you why I don't want something. Fucking honor what I fucking said. Respect my time and don't fucking piss me off. And it's the same thing here. Wasting time, wasting their time because they got to go work up the extra money to pay my ever-increasing fee that I'm charging them. Then I never would get the question. I'd send them the price quote. Then, but according to what you said on your internet, you said it's only 35. No, it's around 35. That's where it averages. You lazy see what you only want to see fucks. But since you dilly-dallied and played the fuck around game, now we're at 50. 52. I got what? 55. Are you seeing a pat? Do you see the solution? It's like, stop. Just shut the fuck up. Pay the money or don't. And I even had one guy where I had to do all this. Now, keep in mind also, just so you guys know, I mean, there's maintenance stuff too behind, like any business. McDonald's, it's not just the time it takes the cook and the wait person to create and give you your food. There's accountants, there's cleaners, there's janitors, there's delivery trucks, there's management, there's corporate. Now, I don't have that huge of an operation, but there's significant back where it's like, no, I got to charge for that time too. I got to try, there's the website goes down, or email doesn't look like it's working, or, even doing taxes, doing accounting, doing bookkeeping. That's all my time. And that's baked into the price. But that's not fair. Yes, it is fair, motherfuckers, because if you don't cover all your expenses, then you don't have a profitable business. If you don't have profit, you then run out of money, and then you file for bankruptcy, and then there's no fucking business. Sorry, nobody understands accounting. But then I did, I don't know, like a 5-10 minute video. Well, it was more than that, I guess. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. It's some short video. Question didn't require that much. It was also the make the decision for me. That's gumi, gobi. Guy went and actually calculated. Well, that was a 10-minute video, and you charge 100. Well, 1/6 of it, but you charge me. It's like, oh my God, you anal retentive dumbass fuck. You think you got other problems? Shut the fuck up. If you don't want to pay it, don't. And the other thing, this is why when I do Skype sessions or, online where I'm actually talking to someone, it's a $200 minimum. And I tell people right up front, if it's $200 minimum, you get an hour for that, up to an hour, But if we solve your problem in a minute, I'm not fucking around on the internet, let alone wasting your time for 59 minutes more. And I was smart enough to do that because I've had two people, all they want to do. I talked to another guy who was an actual therapist. And none of you want to, well, not none of you, very few people want to solve their problems. Very few. Most people want to masturbate and jerk off. That's what most psychologists and therapists are. They're kind of sex toys, but instead of sex toys, it's ego toys, and you masturbate their ego or you make them feel good. And you go around in circles and circles and circles and circles. And there's no production. And this is all, originally why I didn't, I started charging because I'd get pissed off when people wouldn't follow my advice back in the day. Now, don't care. You paid me. But I'm not going to sit there and be your emotional tampon for 59 minutes when I answered your question in one. Thank you for your $200. Now get the fuck out of here. Oh, by the way, enjoy the extra 59 minutes of your day you got. That's like doubling your lunch hour. There's this idea, it's so boomer. So like, well, you get your work done in 3 hours, but I need you to sit at your desk and look busy for the remaining 5. Fuck you people. I mean, there's so much economic loss and freedom loss in that and a lower standard of living because people got to sit behind a fucking desk because you paid them something per hour, even though the job, that's what you pay by the project. But this is way too advanced fucking shit for the managerial MBA, PhD, and business geniuses. This is way too much. Way too much. Fucking takes a pandemic to get you dumbasses to realize we can work from home. I hope you all die of fucking cancer very early. And so, yes, Cappy, I'm kind of surprised I'm doing this podcast. I had to because the podcast is just so delayed. I've been trying to. Well, I did one. We had to take it down because a girl had a problem. Not with me. It has nothing to do with me. But this girl, we can't even call that's an insult to girls. This little creature, this perpetually offended snowflake. It was a snowflake, just like a 32-year-old snowflake. And then there was a reason I had to take it down. That had nothing to do. It was a favor to somebody, let's just say. Well, that's one less podcast. Now I got to create more. I like wasting 2 hours of time, don't you? Let's watch TV. So I get a podcast in. I'm just trying to think. I got to write. That's always a fun chore. Everybody interrupts you. Everyone at the airport. Say, buddy, what laptop is that? I'm like, oh my fucking God, really? Who? What? It's a ThinkPad. I haven't seen one of those in years. Yeah, I'm busy fucking right now. Okay. Oh, sorry, man. You just go do your normal shit that you do and live your normal life and fucking die irrelevant. Go do it. And then just want to get done. It's like what's his name? Robert De Niro trying to get Charles Grodin back in Midnight Run. He just wants to, every possible little fuck up happens to delay him from getting Charles Grodin from New York City to LA in a week. And you got to get him across the country. Kind of buddy cop show. I've come too far, too close. He just wants his $300,000 so he can start his coffee shop. I just need to finish this book, which is about halfway done, by the way, as I said. It'll be good. It'll be good. And then I'm going to take some time off. We're going to start. I already have sub-protocol, sub-routines happening for Operation Evil. But I'm just going to sit and rest on my laurels a little, and we're going to go back to basics. Because I really don't have, I got tons of book ideas. I mean, I got all these other projects I can write, but nothing big, nothing fancy. That keep in mind, how not to become a millennial. That was interrupted by my cancer scare last year. So I ended up writing most of it in 2020. 2020 has been a very fucking busy year. I did the minimalism seminar, compiled that, put that together. And you got to market that. And then I had to deliver my speech at the Rule Zero. I had to do the research for that, turn that into, Cappy's going to be done. I think I'm going to enjoy Vegas. When I get there, in theory, I should have the extra income, the extra monthly income now to maybe go golfing, one time a week more. I might, what else would I buy with my newfound riches? I'm so happy that I made on average about $2,500 a month more to me, which is huge on my minimalism course. And all these wannabe losers, I can't believe you. Oh, look at this. It's the end. Oh, everybody, it's the end of Cappy. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, shut up. Shut up with your fake little account with 0 subscribers and just go the fuck away with your avatar. And it's like, oh, look, $2,500 a month that wasn't there before. Of course, I'm not running the seminar every month. I wish. You don't want to flood the market. But I'm like, oh, that worked. And what am I going to do with all this extra money? I think I'm going to go golf. Actually, I already told you what I did. I bought one of the rare nice things. Now, admittedly, it wasn't a septic tank. We're still raising the money for that. But I did buy a nice thing of furniture. So I bought that. And then depending on the income, I might go get my precious coins, my collectible coins that I want to get. But otherwise, take that away. When we go back to normal, I just want to get back to normal. I'll be done. Oh my God, dudes, I'll be done with all the health shit. And now we got to do taxes. All right. So I'm going to have to do taxes. Yay. But the book will be done. I could get back to remember we used to do Good Morning Corona Chan every Monday, and then Tuesday we'd have the Clarey pot, and then maybe Thursday or Friday, evening, Elkins would be around. We do good older brother podcasts. That's good. Going to go back to that good cadence stable. And I know nobody becomes successful in 40 hours a week, and I've been doing 80 hours a week for quite some time, but you can't do that forever. It's all going to come to, man, 2020 was a shit year in more ways than one. I'm sure 2021 will be all better. But yeah, I think I'm going to golf maybe a little bit more. Great thing about Vegas, though, is the outdoors are free. So, I mean, you know, gas money, that's basically it. Gas money and annual parks pass. Boom. I'm a VIP. I spent the $89.95 on the U.S. National Parks Pass. Please let me into Zion. Oh, yes, Mr. Clarey. Thank you. I don't know. Maybe I'd get more Alvaros. I guess I'll throw more money in the IRA. I don't know. I know. It's going to go into the offshore fund. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go into the Plan B fund. That's really excitingly or not so excitingly where it's going to go. It's not going to be all that exciting. All right. Be strong for $5. Do you think that it's likely that Trump really got cheated out of the election, or is Trump and his supporters too proud to admit he lost? I don't know. Be strong. As you know, or maybe not, but as I think most people here know, I didn't pay attention to the politics. I also had no incentive because Trump was not some conservative messiah. He printed off a crap ton of money. He pissed it all away in welfare. He denied the American people what they need most, and that is to suffer pain and agony and get their act together. The American people need to starve. They need to go hungry. I mean that metaphorically and literally. They need to freak out that there's no food and get so scared that they get jobs. That's how it is. That's how much they got it. They need punishment. Trump didn't do that. Trump just printed off more money, sold more bonds to itself in the form of the Federal Reserve, and put younger generations further into debt. And so I voted Trump because, well, do I want AIDS or cancer? Well, AIDS is pretty treatable now. You know, it's still a death sentence. You still don't want to get it, but it's not cancer. Although some cancers are pretty, you know, that it's not, this is why I'm going plan B. So I don't really care. So I'd have to go and look it up. I got a request. Someone sent me in a request. They wanted me to know, wanted my opinion on whether he got cheated out of the election. It's going to take at least an hour or two for me to go and research all this. And keep in mind, you gotta keep in mind, Fox News and right-wing media isn't exactly pure as the virgin snow either. I've caught, what's his name? The young kid with a rich dad. Everyone's all excited about him. I forget his name. His news outlet put a completely biased right-wing spin on an otherwise innocent story, and essentially lying about what actually happened based on the spin. Like, oh my God, harumph, I can't believe this, harumph. And so I got to go through and find, all right, are they telling the truth? I got to find the original. Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. Turd Flinging Monk. No, not Turd for the Dick Show. Dick Masterson. I was listening to it. They're saying that the flu cases are down 2/3 this year compared to last year. And of course, the implication of that being that coronavirus, what would be normally flu deaths, 2/3 of them are being falsely ascribed to coronavirus. And so this is, again, more proof that this is a scamdemic. And then I went online to find that original document or find the original numbers or study. Couldn't find it. CDC, which is horrible at the record keeping, by the way. You guys are horrible. Hire Asshole Consulting. I'm not even talking about like your methodology, how you collect it. The way you present it and how you present it, it's not digestible. It's not applicable. It's not practical. It's not useful. They said from the 2019 to 2020 flu season, because they do it based on the season, not necessarily the calendar year. Well, I'm like, well, what does that include? Is that June 1st to May 29th? Where's the month? They don't tell you that. I'm like, oh, well, I guess go fuck yourself, huh? Then CDC. But I didn't find it. So now that I don't believe that 2/3 number. I don't, unless someone could send it to me. Please do. I was trying to find it because that would have helped. But that's thus far looks to be a canard. And so now I got to think about okay, did you really get cheated out of it? Does it really matter? Because for the most part, this country is going to go left based on demographics, the corruption of the native population. Women just obsessing as quickly as they can, replacing men, children, family, even their own religion with the religion of feminism and socialist politics. I mean, that's just happening. Yeah, I mean, I've always said just keep the lights on. I'm not. So I don't know if I look for that if the guy pays, but it's going to be like $150 for me to do that. The Competent Man, $2. Shall we start to prepare for final services? No. That's all right. I'll be fine. Jack might be on later on today. He's had the flu, the Wuhan flu, for a week and a half now. I bet she's perfectly fine. When he had it, he's like, oh, I got a headache. The Competent Man, $2. More time off? What the fuck? What about us? Hey, when I mean more time off, I don't mean like, oh, I just sit around on a beach. I'm still working. I've started to be, no offense, I'm completely humbled and honored that people like Rich Cooper, Donovan, going to be going on Troy Francis's show, Sterling Cooper's show, John Benjamin's show. I don't mind, but I'm sick of interviews, guys. I'm just like, and you got it. Oh, I might be going on Coach Red Pill as well. I'm honored by the truest sense of the word honor, but it's like, oh, fuck, another. And there's nothing wrong, but of course, obligatorily, not to mention intellectually, you'd like to have them on, but it's just like, okay, let's spread it. Because now, and the real reason I don't like it is not the interviewing process or anything like that. It's that I have to set a schedule. And now there's this annoying responsibility, this liability out there an obligation, a debt I owe that I have to remember. So now I got to keep a schedule. I'm like, fuck. Because I love the freedom I got where I'm like, I'm going to go to Denver, which I couldn't go to. Well, I could, but the buddy I was going to go visit, he's not there. Well, he's there, but they got family coming over. This guy is like, oh, when are you coming over? You got to come over to family. Love to see. Oh, everybody love to see. I'm like, okay, I'm coming over. Oh, God, no, we got family coming over. I'm like, well, what? Fucking dick. What? But now I'm like, oh, wait, I got an interview. I got an interview with Modern Life John and Piero, guy over in Switzerland, on the 19th. And that's the work. That's the job. But that stuff doesn't go away. I still got to do that stuff. You know, you just got to catch up, man. I remember spending the better part of an afternoon waxing my vehicles in preparation for winter and fixing windshield chips. That took 4 hours because I think we had, 3 vehicles and a bunch of chips. I don't know what it was. I'm like, I better do this now. So I got the epoxy in the resin. I did all that. It's just that stuff, man. It adds up. And then you got to get through it. And here's the other thing. Like if you, I know when I talk about minimalism, one of the main things you talk about is decluttering the crap, the physical crap out of your life. There's also decluttering the mental crap in your life, like all the chores and the responsibilities. And if you were to audit the mental clutter I have, it's very little. There's always daily chores or annual chores like taxes you got to do. But dude, I got a living will. I got a regular will. That's got to get updated because of the nature of copyrights. They can go on longer than the human can. So I got to revisit that. There's, okay, I got to go check my cholesterol and all that. How many people even do that? How many people let their car go 10,000 miles without an oil change? How many people, and you could see it. People that are very bad with time management, not only is their house a mess and cluttered and there's no organization. I'm not saying it's got to be Spartan and everything like, a freaking Marine officer lives there or something like that. But you just look like the kids are throwing crap all over the house. Everyone's exasperated. And you look like, oh yeah, okay, there's physical disorganization. There's a lack of discipline physically. There's also a lack of discipline mentally. And so and sure enough, taxes, extensions, filing, the car really needs this repair or maintenance. I mean, stuff that keeps getting pushed off where, okay, you let your oil change go from 3,000 miles to 4,000. I think you'll be all right. But you have 5 years of extensions. The IRS tends to get pissed. You kick off your oil change 10,000 miles, the engine's going to seize up. So I like the peace and calm that comes with having like a Spartan and tidy mental life. I like having the to-do list. Actually, it's my chore list. I also have a to-do list. But the chore list, check. I don't get everything done. So it's like an idealism list. Like I have $1 sign, a $2 sign, and then a $3 sign. So if I don't eat lunch out, I saved some money. So I put a little mark there. And then the GF makes dinner. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't eat out. I had leftovers for lunch and we didn't eat out. So I get the $2 sign. And then the $3 sign, that's like, we didn't go out and do anything. Like we just stayed in. Like yesterday, because I was sick. So I got a $3 sign. You get that. And then, okay, I took my vitamins. I took my fish oil. I did some work. I worked out, And I'm like, okay, cool. And it's clean. It's set. And then look, there's the accomplishment. I think that God Almighty, could you imagine how pissed off I'd be if I had chaos going through my mind, didn't have my life and act and shit together? Oh, I'd be a pleasant joy to be around then. Juan, the Aztec patriarch, $2. When will the bumper stickers come back? Oh yeah. You know what? I really should bring those back, shouldn't I? Why, you got a new car, Juan? I got the file somewhere. It's really, you know how it goes. That's like last thing. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it like I'm going to do a batch of 200. I'll announce it. I'll send them out for free. But yeah, it's I don't know when. If the bumper stickers will come back when I decide to finally do another run at getting a merch store set up, which is impossible and a complete pissing away of time because once again, it relies on fucked up people. Where I think 2 out of the 3 major ones are not necessarily all SJW, but anything politically incorrect like a gun. Like, what's the name? I think Cafe Press, they won't do guns. It's like, get the fuck out of here. What else are you going to, like, let's say I want a pinup chick with hot boobs, or not hot, but big boobs in a bikini. Is that going to be deemed like 5 years from now to be derogatory towards women? Like, you just don't work with Karens. I'm pissed off with the 2 hours I invested setting up accounts with these things, trying to learn their platforms, and like, oh, we can't approve that. You know what? Fuck you. Just fuck you. Okay. I guess you're not going to make money then. Atham Eldecchio for $2, super sticker. Don't know what it is. I'm sure it has something to do with feces, right, Atham? Has something to do with feces. Ian S for 5 British pounds. Keep up the good work, Captain. Thanks, Ian. Syndicate Chief, I wonder where you are. $2. Have you been to Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada? Yeah, I've driven through it a couple times. I'm not that impressed with it. It's desert. It's hot. It's north of Vegas. You can loop around, hook up to Lake Mead Boulevard. It's a nice motorcycle ride. It's all right. I prefer to go up to Moapa. You take the Moapa exit and you cut east towards Overton. I think the town's called Overton. And don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure that's where the Virgin River ends up running into the Colorado River or Lake Mead. And so even though you're in the middle of the desert, there's a fair amount of agriculture and trees around that area because of the water source. But I don't know. It was all right. Problem with Vegas is do not mistake their local and county, state, even their national monument parks. Like Red Rock Canyon is a national monument. It's all right. It's no Zion. It's no Grand Canyon. It's great for locals to get out and go check out. Let's go to that park. Let's go to that park. It's like going to your county park. It's not. Oh my God, look at these 1,000-foot vertical cliffs like at Black Canyon National Park. So Valley of Fire State. Now you're like, yeah. Scott Ludke, $5. Getting back into running, but my knee has some high mileage on it and a little damage. Are treadmills low impact? They can be if they got the springs. Generally speaking, yes. But what I do, Scott, make sure you get some good shoes. I have to sadly trade in my New Balance shoes because the tread's pretty much all gone on them. Thankfully, I already have a pair of New Balance shoes ready to take their place. Plus, it's winter. It's coming up to winter, so I don't run outside. I mean, one of the dumbest, most dangerous things you can do is go run outside in winter where there's ice and slicks and things. Forget that. Just forget that. It's not worth slipping and banging up your knee. But yeah, I go treadmill. That's what I do now. I was probably going to do it today. Yes, I might even run today while I'm sick. Covenant Man for $5. Funny you mentioned 5 years of tax returns. Last week, I had a contractor approach me and ask for help filing 5 years of returns. Fuck no. Fuck no. You tell that fucking piece of degenerate, inferior shit, fuck no. Get the fuck out of here. You are so fucking lazy. You don't file for 5 years with the IR fucking S? Dude, like, what don't you people, Aaron, is Trump, do you think the election, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Forget communism. Worry about idiocracy. All right? Worry about fuckwits getting degrees in civil engineering because of the color of their skin or their gender, not because they actually know how to do civil engineering and they design bridges. That's what you should worry about, not the communism. Worry about like the water, not worry. Flint, Michigan, look at that. Worry about, geez, do they know to wash their hands and to have, what's the word, proper food handling protocol to make sure I don't get food. Look, guys, do you know how fragile and intricate the food supply chain is? To go from where the food is originated, whether it's, an animal or a vegetable, to being prepared by a chef for you. Do you know how many hands that goes through? I don't mean dirty hands. I mean, how many humans? And humans, the economic unit of a human, a lot of people think the economic unit of a human is like labor. No, in terms of economics, what a human really is an economic unit of measurement of is your percent chance of fucking up. That's a fuck up pod. Yep, that's a fuck up node. Oh, how many fuck up nodes does that food have to go through? All the way to the point where the waiter hands it to you. How many fuck up nodes are there? Potential fuck up nodes. A score? A dozen at least? Now, when you got the millennials, forget boomers, forget Gen X, when you got the millennials heading up corporate America, and they're all obsessed about being woke culture and having group sessions at an office about the clitoris penis and, hey, you boy or girl, da, 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 da. It's like, excuse me, we're supposed to build bridges here. Shut up. Blah, 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 blah. That's your leaders. And then everyone underneath them is going to be Gen Zers or younger. You'll be lucky if a piece of bread can make it to your table without having salmonella or a mold on it. Forget what the tax rates are. That's what I'm really worried about. Where it's like, okay, what's the price of gas going to cost? Holy shit, you fuckwits can't even like file taxes on time. You can't even balance your budget. I'm surprised. Will we have an ass wiping robot because no one will know how to wipe their own ass? And here you guys think that, oh yeah, they're going to be able to refine and distribute gas. Like, and it's not going to fuck up your engine. Competent man, $2. Another guy, 7 years of returns. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I guarantee you those guys are not Democrats. The ones I run into are like, they're always businessmen. We're hustling and shaking. And your contractor, I'm going to bet he was a contractor, right, competent man? I saw this in banking a lot. Oh, yeah, sure. They got the Trump bumper sticker. Oh, yeah, no wonder they, I don't even know why they vote Trump. They don't pay taxes anyway. Competent man, $2. You should name your next book GFY. Great fucking year. ETC Shadow. I think it's a new guy. Thank you for the $5. Some girls next door were blasting their speakers last night. I intercepted the Bluetooth signal and DOS'd it. Peace and quiet. Love to be texted. So wait, like you went into the direct operating system and just, what did you do? Reprogram it? Girl blasted speaker. I intercepted the Bluetooth thing. That's brilliant. That's good, man. That's good. That's the happy news story of the day. I think everybody could appreciate that. We had some gal screaming and crying last night at some argument with her boyfriend. And not knowing anything about it, but being an older man and going through that in my youth, of course, I don't think I've ever had a girl. Like when you think about Molyneux and his wife, if they have a disagreement, does the wife break down like a little petulant child and start screaming and sobbing uncontrollably? And like I look back at it now, like how unacceptable behavior that is when girls cry. It's like, no, I'm not. No. Even if you're breaking up with her, like, hey, yeah, you know what? This isn't working. I'm like, oh, really? You think so? Yeah. Well, maybe a tear shed, but this chaotic, uncontrollable screaming and sobbing. It's like, no. I really just, it's more like I'm getting so old and bitter now. I'm like, I don't have time for emotions or feelings. Okay. No. Here's the facts. Now shut the fuck up and go away. But I was just listening. I'm like, wow, this is painful. Like, I remember tolerating that shit. And just kind of like, what? Like, no, that was strong, independent, don't need no man, fish, bicycle, girl, boss, trademark. Why are you crying uncontrollably like a little petulant 3-year-old? Shut up. Just to, getting older, looking back, like, oh. So like if you're a 23-year-old kid and you're going to break up with your girl, or you just have a disagreement, or just acting like just completely unacceptable behavior, just be like, no, this isn't happening. And they start crying. Whoa, no crying. Nope, no crying. No, we're having a reasoned conversation. There's no emotion here. And just leave. That's great though, dude, that you hacked into that. Servsafe certification. What's Servsafe? Oh, Servsafe, food handling. Okay. So it's like a program. Yeah, training certificate program administered by the U.S. National Restaurant Association, sanitation, etc. Yeah, but let me ask you this, competent man. Do you not see the day coming that instead of like, okay, I know you guys all have restaurants to run or food deliveries to make, so let's get right to it. They're instead going to be like, okay, so let's have a session to acknowledge the disadvantaged groups of people here, to cultishly even say a prayer. Okay, and we're going to go through a trust exercise. Like, this mind virus that predominantly leftist women have, or they're forcing this crap on us. I mean, can you not see how that's then going to affect the efficacy of the training? Because at least 1/8 of it, 12.5% has to go to this bullshit fealty procedure. I don't care what this, dude, college degrees are the same thing. You're supposed to be like, oh yeah, you're educated. You can do this real smart. Hey, it doesn't certify you for anything. DOS, denial of service. It floods a device with internet traffic and signal takes a dump. Oh, denial of service. All right. Yeah, DDoS. DDoS. All right. That's great. Oh. And our good buddy Atham, of course, which no doubt has feces in it, but again, I can't see it. So we go. All right, let's get to some sponsors. Fragments of the Game. It's written by Rick Aureliano. Arellano. Put it in the chat room here. There we go. Thank you, love. Did I put it in to get in? There it is. This book takes a stand, an innovative, quick read, thoughtful, and cautious account of the pickup art. Fragments of the Game is around 120 pages long, starts by exploring seduction as an archaeological idea and pickup as an infinite game. It gives a few key points about the origins of the pickup arts and narrates some of the personal events and brief how-tos in discovering and applying game. I do kind of want to read this book because I think it would be an interesting, almost historical documentary as to what happened 20 years ago, what lessons we learned and still apply to today. Central point of the book revolves around the ability to find the short-lived and the more permanent ideas on pickup, which we know which is declining in popularity. Boy, I mean, yeah, I know you got to go out in public, but boy, is it even a thing now online? I mean, I know there's always going to be a form of game and charisma and wooing and all that, but I wonder, like, boy, how much of those books back in the day are obsolete because it presumed the environment of a bar or a nightclub. In general, one extra thing to point out is the narrative avoids touching the left and activist forces of today. Instead, it goes subtly by pointing in the right direction towards an old sense of game. So take a look at that. That is The Fragments of Game by Rick Aureliano, because 2 L's is a ya. The Path to Happiness, I got this. The Path to Happiness, The Road to Freedom, by Michael C. Kress right here. This is an introductory book to microeconomics and how it applies to establishing not only a free society, but a free life philosophy in your own mind. It is basic. It is introductory. It is not going to be for the vast majority of you. This would be for kids who are starting off and like if you haven't read Economics 101, you don't know anything about microeconomics, you're a freshman in college, that might be a good place to start. But I would not start reading that book until you start taking your microeconomics class, because it will parallel that, so it'll help you do better in that class while you're reading that book. So that's available paperback and Kindle. Pirate Book Takedown. Go to piratebooktakedown.com, where my buddy Doug will help you if you're an author or any kind of content creator. Send out your DMCA notices or takedown requests to websites that illegally or they can legally but unethically post your stuff. And I used it. That's why I was like, man, I like to hit. And he's like, oh, I was thinking about starting a business. I'm like, dude, do it. It's like, I know a bunch of authors, but you have to be an author, just a content creator. Go to piratebooktakedown.com. And here's the thing, just have him go online and find out how many copies of your stuff he can find out there. I was shocked. Now, of course, I have like 10 different publications, some of which I don't really care about. They're like small little, I'm okay if Boris the Shitting Buffalo doesn't make the New York Times bestseller. But there was a lot, and we took down about like 85% of them. And the other places found out they're more scam sites than anything else. And I still have yet to go through, of course, the piddly little to-do list things. There's a couple places offering it for free, but you got to really know how to get there. They make it hard. They make it very hard. But consider hiring Doug over at piratebooktakedown.com. Tell him that the captain sent you. Academiccomposition.com. Go to academiccomposition.com, where Alex's crack writing team of staff will write your papers for you in college. Do what smart corporations do, and that is outsource the mundane tasks that you don't want to do, like writing anti-capitalism, anti-freedom, anti-American, anti-male, anti-penis public papers for your self-loathing Marxist, feminist, psycho quantaha professors and lecturers. He's always looking to hire people too for both advertising and writing. Check out academiccomposition.com. Better Bachelor, when you're done tuning in here, go to Better Bachelor on YouTube, where Joker, the host of Better Bachelor, has basically your daily red pill fix. And I do mean fix. It's you could say red pill philosophy, but it's a red pill fix. He likes to skewer the psycho women out there and the psycho boys, and just like, look what's going on here. So it's nice, good red meat. So check out Joker's site, Better Bachelor, over on YouTube. Check out Turf Flinging Monkey over on BitChute. Just warn you, little extreme in a couple areas. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I do. It's not even the economic analysis. The economic analysis is good. I just like how he doesn't care and can speak his mind. And that's the benefit. Like, even here, we got to kind of watch what we say. There, it's unplugged. It's unrecorded, unrehearsed. So it's a breath of fresh air, I guess. Same thing with Terrence Poppy's over on BitChute as well. Then also check out Turd Flinging Monkey's 13 Rules Not to Be a Cuck. Again, great book. And then the last two chapters, like, oh yeah, that's where the weirdness comes in. Okay, all right. What's weird is it's not even weird. He makes a case for it. I disagree with some of the premises of the two different items he advocates. But I was like, an 18-year-old kid doesn't need that. That's what a 13 Rules Not to Be a Cuck is targeted. It's like, if you're a new kid, you don't know much about life, you don't have a dad. It's a good starting point. But then he's got to get his two pet social causes in there. I was just like, oh, you didn't have to do that. You really didn't have to do that. Cubanos in Wisconsin, written by Silvio Canto. Pushing Rubber Downhill. Check out the book by Adam Piggott, Pushing Rubber Downhill, at his website, pushingrubberdownhill.com. 405 Media, when you're done tuning in here, you can also go to 405media.com. Which is basically a radio station of a bunch of different podcasts, typically conservative leaning or libertarian leaning. So you might want to check out that. And the Black Brigade. If everyone, I'm going to go, hang on. I'm going to put in his channel. I'm going to put in the channel here. Oh, there he is. What's up, Jack?
Not much with you. Good. Busy with sponsors.
Yep. Hang on. Let me get through these ads here. So I put in Black Brigade link for everyone there, where DT goes through his standard black pill, nihilistic, what's the purpose to life? Yet I have these great kids podcasts he does every week. NonCommunistScienceFiction.com. Check out NonCommunistScienceFiction.com, which is the main hub for Michael Kingswood's books, where he specializes in science fiction of the non-communist type. So if you're sick and tired of having your science fiction having a sermon of politics in there, go to noncommunist-science-fiction.com. Check that out there. bunkerbasics.com with Bunker Bob. Bunker Bob is an expert on all the survival and prepping needs, so don't go anywhere else but bunkerbasics.com, your one-stop shop. Figure that all out. And then The Science of Mastering Women, written by Linda Gross. I'm going to grab that. Put that in there. She's a board-certified psychologist. I don't even know if there's a thing as a board-certified psychologist. She is an actual PhD in psychology. And she put together a book that goes over how men can go ahead and get to girls. And then finally, if you'd like to help out the show, you can go to olderbrother.com/donate, where there are 3 ways you can do that. And you can go and donate to the PayPal link that's there. You don't get anything for it. You can go to the Subscribe Star link that's there, in which case you get access to the Road Trip podcast, which is behind the paywall, Mary Jo's Pinup, and you get access to the free version of Sanity is the Future of Wealth, which you have to pay for now because it used to be free, and now it's into this very nice little pamphlet for dirt cheap. I tried to keep the price as cheap as possible. So we have that there. And then the last link is to my Amazon affiliate link, where all you have to do before you don't go straight to the Amazon. No, you go to olderbrother.com/donate. You click on the Amazon link and then you do all your shopping, because then I get a 4 to 5% commission and cut, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. And I think that is the best way to help out the old Capmeister if you insist on getting something back for your money. What's going on, Jack?
Yeah, not much. Just got done working from home.
From home? Is that possible?
Well, apparently we have these things called laptops, and you get connected to other people with this digital connection that you can't really see. They call it the internet. Yeah, I know, Boomer. But
how many bodies are in the street? Like people eating cats and dogs. How many buildings are on fire? Are there even buildings to be on fire? Or is it just rubble because you're working online now?
No, everything's pretty normal, actually, even with the COVID thing going on. I think the Europeans have developed so far more than Americans that we stop burning our shit down when we don't agree with something.
Well, I've been binging like probably the past 4 or 5 years on generally European history, but I also go into like the Middle Eastern history, like the Persian Empire and the Huns and those guys. So it all are, Alexander the Great, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But man, mainland Europe was just basically, let's go fucking kill each other, because it's been about 10 minutes since we've killed each other. And especially the French and the English, man, they had a hate boner that lasted, 600 years?
Something like that. I wouldn't be surprised.
And what you had, and it's not like the 100 Days War or like the Israelis get their wars done quick, the 3-day war. Okay, you guys had 100 years war, followed by a 30 years war, and then for just a little bit of a little tryst, there was a 7 years war.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, good Christ, man. That's all it is everybody killing each other. For what? It was usually for land, but then it was Protestants versus Catholics for a while, right? And then it was just like, well, they're the English, we got to kill them. Or they're the French, fuck those guys.
Yeah, my dad always says that about the European Union. He says, fuck off with your European Union, because we still call the Germans krauts, we don't trust the Spanish, and the French are cowards. So
why don't you trust the Spanish? Are they particularly underhanded or something?
No, it's like Southern European slick guys where you're just like, oh, what are you trying to sell me? Kind of like that.
Yeah, that's Italy and Greece.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's all. Yeah. That's Southern Europe.
Yeah,
but not the entire Iberian Peninsula. I'd imagine would be considered that.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
All right. Well, yeah, I even saw that 20 years ago looking at data, especially Italy. Like the corruption and the graft and the percent of people that still live at home. I'm like, oh, just go shut the fuck up. It's like, you were the Roman Empire at one time, and now you're just a bunch of, Greece is the same way. You were the Greek fucking empire. You're like, where Western civilization was founded and and you had the Spartans. Now you're just a bunch of fat, hairy people voting in your communist fucking free shit. And then you're wondering why you need a fucking bailout or a bail-in or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah, for some odd reason, man. I mean, the PR guy of leeching who called it socialism, he was good. Like, you're social, right? I'm social. How can you not be social? We'll call it socialism because it's for everybody. It's like, smart man.
So it was like a poker game.
Could be.
Right. Or going out like for drinks. Oh yeah, that's socialism.
Hmm.
They failed to mention the money part.
Kind of like that. Yeah, we're going out for drinks, but you're paying.
But you're paying, right? But well, good. How's your COVID? Are you healed up now?
Yeah, pretty much. How are you, sick man, Cappy? Like, did you
I just
catch
pushed
the COVID from me?
No, I didn't catch the COVID from you. I got a cold. I go through the list. You know what the list of symptoms are for the COVID?
Just like the flu.
It's just like the flu. Yeah, but I don't even have like 2 of the 7. I got a scratchy throat and that coppery smell, and I had to sniff, just a little bit of sniff, but then it went away. And so I'm not weak. I don't have body aches. I'm probably even going to go run. It's a very weak cold. And yeah, so I'm not worried. And you know what? Even if it was the Corona Chan, guess what?
You'd still be working?
I'd be just fine. Just like 80% of the people have minimal. I saw this from the CDC. I was doing some research. 80% of the people who get it are asymptomatic or minimal symptoms. And then I guess then it's more progressed. And then I don't know what fraction of 1% actually end up dying. But I stopped caring a long time ago because I've only known 3 people now to have it. And I don't know anyone who has died from it, let alone gone to the office hospital. So yeah. You're not going to convince me that this was anything more than the flu. Terribly sorry.
Oh, no, same here. I mean, Watson was next to me 30 minutes before I went testing.
Yeah.
So I tested positive. He tested the day afterward.
Right.
Came out negative. I'm like, what? We lost the country for this?
Well, maybe you already had it. Hang on. Are you there? Go ahead, talk. Give me a sound check.
Yes.
Oh, there. All right, good. Well, it probably wasn't. It had already not inoculated. It already infected you, but was no longer contagious, I guess, by the time you went there, and Watson was fine.
I think it was that because he was sick, I was sick, and another friend of mine was sick as well. And apparently I was the only one who had COVID. But I keep thinking maybe we just had the flu and I happened to be COVID positive.
Well, there was, I forget who it was. They're talking about like how there's 30 strains of COVID and flu is 3 of them or something like that. They're related in terms of family of virus. And so are these tests like really getting the Corona 19 or are they getting just Corona in general? I so am done with it. I'm not caring. It's just the goddamn flu. It is. That's all it is. And they're going to look back at this era in time in human history 300 years from now and say, look at what that group of fucking idiots did. They shut down the whole goddamn global economy and destroyed because of the flu. And this is what happens when capitalism is too successful. Everyone becomes so pampered, so spoiled, so weak, and have everything paid for, they lose all context to judge what is important and what is not.
No worries, Cappy. You'll have socialism in about 2 years, I suspect.
I got so much work on my plate.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I could only imagine your reaction was like, fuck.
What, the re-election?
Yeah, well, that socialism is now in high gear.
No, I've accepted that. It's just, there's so much, you have to do so much. You got to support yourself, number one. Then you got to work up the extra capital to up until relatively recently, like, I got to save up money for retirement or make up for lost time, which every young generation is now going to have to do because we fucked them over by basically essentially forcing them to take a bunch of student loans they couldn't afford. Right? Okay, fine. Maybe you discover minimalism and you got a shot at it. And now you're like on the track in your mid 30s to finally save up enough money for retirement. As long as you didn't have kids or get married or get divorced, like, okay, we got it. Oh, no, now we might take that all away from you. So now you got to start that process all over again, but this time on hard mode in a country you don't speak the language. So now you got to learn another language. You got to go explore the country. You got to And it's just like, fuck, man. Just fuck these guys. And I wish you could say, fuck these parasites, because it is the parasites of society. But what it really is these assholes, these childish little assholes, these worthless, lazy, uneducated pieces of shit who vote for, I feel like we should help your children, not knowing they voted in slavery. That's really, soccer moms, women in the suburbs, carrying women. That's where it's like, it's my own people that did this, not just to me, but themselves as well.
Yeah.
And they don't realize, they literally don't realize they're taking the gun and pulling the figure. I'm just dodging out of the way and making a break for it. And then they're going to be like, why did I shoot myself in the head? They don't even know they shot themselves in the head. They're going to be like, we need more socialism.
And that's the power of marketing, because it has social in it. So it has to be good.
Think about this. They got women convinced. Marketing is so effective. I used to like, how can people be brainwashed? That's dumb. I'm so much a believer in brainwashing now. They actually have women convinced that there's something wrong with men if they don't like fat chicks, that it's sexism if they don't like fat chicks, and that big is beautiful. They have them believing that and angry about it if the world does. I mean, bravo. Excellent marketing. Not here, not going to stick around for it. I don't want to be around this place where all the psychopaths are. I'm not kidding. I looked at obesity rates. I'm doing this study. It has about 20 variables. Some of them are logical, like debt to GDP, deficits to GDP, unemployment rate, labor force participation. But one of them is their obesity rate of women. Because if I'm going to move, I'm not going to go to a country where it's a bunch of fat, loudmouth, poorly dressed Western women just looking slovenly and raping my eyes. If I have to move, I'm going to go to a place where not just the women, it's not, I want to see beauty. I want to see beauty in the architecture. I want to see the men comport themselves properly. I'm not saying everyone's got to wear a suit. It's got to look like 1950s or something. But I don't want to see any fat people. And I want to see long-haired, beautiful women in dresses. I don't want to talk to them. If they're old, if they're young, I want to see normal, healthy-looking people, not the fucking shit show I saw where a genetic experiment went wrong over at Philadelphia International Airport, and everyone is a fucking pig human wearing sweatpants and just looking disgusting.
So Eastern Europe?
Yeah, that's on the plate. It's on the plate. A lot of work, just more work.
Yeah, I can imagine it would have been Eastern Europe. You're not coming here because the average Dutch woman is 10 centimeters shorter than I am, yet just as heavy.
I have no desire for what the numbers, their finances preclude it, and I have no desire to go. I'm not going to go from one sinking ship to a next where your roads are shit, your food is overpriced,
and when I spend good here.
Okay, well, maybe in Holland they are. Well, the Germans had to build them to get to France, of course. But I'm not. I went Switzerland, France, and Italy, and for $15 you get a little piece of food like that. Fuck that shit. I want big fucking helpings of food.
Which is where I gotta weird because, like, where do you look at?
We were all, dude. I drove all over. Most of Switzerland.
Where did you eat?
I ate. We would go to restaurants. A lot of tourist towns like Stresa, which is on Lake.
Don't go to restaurants in Europe.
Well, where do you go to get food?
The grocery store.
I'm not going to the grocery store. I had this dream. I had this idea. I was going to sit at this Italian village off the main drag, and I'd find an espresso. I just sit and relax and maybe look at the Adriatic or something. I'm sure somewhere in Italy that exists, but every place I tried, traffic was shit. Graffiti was all over the place. Their buildings are in disrepair and decay because it's all falling off the stucco and it's discolored, looks like crap. What else? Venice was all right. Okay, I could find a couple cafe shops there. But every restaurant I went to, I mean, we weren't like going to the obvious, on the main drag. I'd go off, kind of look for something. And we go there, and all the helpings were like the size of my die.
Yeah. Do you even lift portions?
Yeah. Do you even lift portions? Right. Exactly. And so when I got back, I think the GF lost 8 pounds and I lost 12. And we were only gone for 2 effing weeks. It was horrible. Yeah. Yeah. So and 12 pounds on me is a lot. So First thing I did was have a big sub sandwich when I got back, and I drove
Oh,
on
I
our
can
road,
imagine.
drove on our big American big penis roads. That's what we did. Just big monstrous penis. Everyone says, "What's it like being in America?" It's like being a big dick going down a big road. That's what it is.
No, but I
Big
can imagine. I
hats.
mean, I don't even go to restaurants in the Netherlands. I mean, go to restaurants nowhere because every time I go there, I'm hungry when I leave.
All right.
And I
Right.
mean, I train a lot. That's a factor as well. But
Right.
these servings are just inhumane. Like, who gets full of that? It's like,
You don't.
no. But again, marketing. Like, you get sold on the idea of luxury. It's like,
Mhm.
luxury is being full after having eaten.
Right. And that good full where you got to take a nap because you got a food coma. That's the full I want. Where
Ah, that's the
you
one.
had one bite too much of the whatever creme
Oh, yeah.
brulee. Yeah, like, oh, hang on, like, yeah,
There,
that's what I. Yeah.
there's a steakhouse nearby, and it's all you can eat spare ribs for like 18 euros. So that's like
That's not
$200.
bad.
But
18 euros.
yeah, no, I was
Like
kidding.
$20. Oh,
I
I see.
know. I know.
I see what you did there. Hey, you can afford that because you don't pay for your own military. You
Yeah.
can get all that money you save from the
Eh,
U.S.
yeah. Well, mostly because we got healthcare paid off, but well, which is insane, by the way. You were like, I keep thinking about that. Like, the Netherlands pulled healthcare off. We did it. Yet
Right.
still people are complaining because it's 100. No, well, how much again? Your own risk is 370 euros per year. So if something happens, you'll get covered until the first 370 euros. It's like,
That's
you can't
nothing.
get, that's not 370 euros a year. You can't get that. Yet people are still complaining. The government's taking everything away from me and I'm scared to go to the doctor. I'm like, you have bigger issues if you can't pay, if needed, 370 euros a year.
It shows you could give the socialists everything they want. They're still going to bitch and whine, which is also why I wrote this, because the day is coming. They're going to have, well, right now they already technically have all their material needs satisfied. All right. Maybe you don't have a Ferrari, but let's say we get to this magical point in time where everyone makes the same amount of money and it's $100,000. And by some miracle, the producers don't mind working for free, because why would you work if everyone's going to make $100,000? So there still is food, clothing, shelter, and things being produced of which all this free money can go buy. All right. Let's just say that they're not going to be satisfied because there are still going to be people who have things that other people don't. Height, looks, hotter wife, hotter husband, better kids, better musical ability, um, and they're never going to be happy. They're never going to be happy, because they even did that like in California. Like, they used to have super cheap tuition, and they still do. But I think they increased it from like $500 a semester to $1,000, which is a fraction. It was some minor, or maybe it was even fees. And as expected, these mindless, fucking worthless pieces of shit in the form of 18, 19 and 20-year-old children go and protest. It's like, get your ass into fucking school. Be thankful the taxpayer is subsidizing like 90% of your education. Get a good fucking degree and go get a fucking job. Just shut the fuck up. It's like, no, we have globally, at least in Western civilization, a generation of children. And what do you mean I gotta pay $2 now instead of one? I can't. Oh my god, that's Patreon, whatever. Well, so let them be pissed off.
I mean, let them have it. They can have it.
Yeah.
I mean, my coworker of mine, he mentioned the whole situation that's going on in the States right now, and I'm like, I couldn't care less. Democrats are gonna Democrat. That's just gonna happen. And he was laughing his ass off because look at childish Trump, and I was like, you know what? I trust that the system will pull it off. Like, you know what? If he's wrong, he's wrong. If he's not, he's not. We'll see. As long as these people don't touch my bank account, I'm fine.
Right.
Because even I'll guarantee you this: in 4 years, the next Republican is going to be worse than Trump. The media will say that anyway. They hated Bush. They hated whoever came before Bush as a Republican, and they absolutely hated Trump, but they're gonna despise the one who's gonna come
yeah,
after them.
the hatred only goes like I thought they couldn't hate Bush anyone more than Bush Jr.
Yeah.
more, and then also Trump came along like, man, you guys, but it's not they're not critically assessing his policies. It's here's the guy getting in the way of my free shit. That's all it is.
That's all politics has come down to.
All politics has ever come down to is producers versus parasites. I just did a video on it where you want to understand politics, you want to understand history, it's producers versus parasites. That's it. We want free shit, we don't want to work. That's all it is. And it's gotten so much so to the point, and I think this is where the psychopathy comes in, where we've brainwashed a generation of not even kids, but young adults now to think that they're oppressed because of traits. Because it can't be something you did, because then there's responsibility and agency. It has to be some way you were born, because then you could claim victimhood status. I am disabled. I got a mental illness. I am female. I am Hispanic. I am Asian. I am a pansexual, whatever. And they have actually gotten 2 generations now, I say, of young people to believe that the other people who are not pansexual or whatever, who are not Asian, those guys are oppressing you. And they have this, they actually think they're oppressed and they're enslaved. And it's just like, not today. Just not today. I'm leaving. Have fun. Okay. The liberal white women with all the money are over there. I suggest you go get it. In the meantime, I don't know. I'll be in Argentina. I'll be somewhere. I just don't care.
Eating ice cream.
No, I can't. I'm getting too old for that now.
You're getting too old for ice cream.
No, I'll have ice cream. I just, it's like, your once a week treat.
Yeah, kind of like, but you're not at that point yet, right? Where you're like, okay, I am old enough. Screw my health.
No,
like,
I'm not.
Ice cream every day.
No, I wouldn't do that either. No, I kind of want to live. But no, I could tell, like, if I have an ice cream or a Big Mac or whatever, I have my cheat day, I could feel it. And it's kind of a good thing, because I've been so consistent with this diet that when I have a cheat day, I got to be careful not to have too much, because I won't get nauseous, probably like, ugh. And,
you'll get food hangover.
Yeah, food. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. And so it's, I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. So I got to kind of spread it out, maybe get pancakes in the morning, and then the evening have a Big Mac or whatever. But no, I love to have ice cream. I'd love to have ice cream every night. It's a wonderful treat. It's a wonderful treat. But it's just, it's not healthy. It's
like, you Yanks have the best Ben and Jerry's flavor there is. Because in the Netherlands we have half baked, so that's cookie dough and the brownie one. A combination of the two. But you guys have the tonight flavor, which is cookie dough, brownie, peanut butter, and all other kinds of nonsense.
Is there any ice cream in that, or is this just a bunch of cookie dough? All right.
It's like, wow, I want to have that one.
Mint chocolate chip with sprinkles. That's it. There you go. Mint chocolate chip with sprinkles. Don't make it complicated.
I don't make it complicated. It's like all the sweets in the world that have to do with chocolate and things like that, and all put into one. Like, yeah. Give me that.
Well, I took the nieces out for ice cream, which I do. So Geronimo had this loud fluorescent rainbow colored mittens jacket combination. No way she's getting shot by a deer hunter. No way a truck is going to miss her. Everyone can see this kid coming a mile away. So do you know the rainbow colored, I guess they call it Superman, but like the rainbow colored ice cream?
The Twister.
No, it's not a Twister, but it's got really bright colors. Lord knows what flavor it is, just sugar flavored. But it has yellow and pink and blue and green. It's just the rainbow of colors. Well, of course, that attracts her eye, and she gets that. So I got a picture of her where the ice cream and her mittens and her jacket are perfectly matched. They're the exact same color.
My God.
I'm just shaking my head looking at Geronimo, and she ate it all, though. She ate it. Usually she's only a little 3-year-old tyke, and usually a whole thing of ice cream, which they can't finish. Of course, Uncle Aaron has to finish. You don't want that to go to waste. It'd be a tragedy. So for environmental reasons, I make sure the ice cream doesn't go to waste. But those kids are eating all their ice cream now. Nothing left for me. It's kind of
nothing. Here, I pulled it up. It's insane. It's caramel and chocolate ice cream with chocolate cookie swirls and gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough and peanut butter cookie dough. It's like,
dude, what are you, 6?
What?
What are you,
Hey,
6?
let me have my fun.
You
What do you
can't
mean I'm
taste
6? Look at that.
anything.
Yes,
you
I
can't
can.
taste anything. It's all there. You're getting too much taste buds stimulated.
And
You
I
have
love
no
it.
clue what you're tasting.
I don't care.
You know what it's like? You know what that's like? Okay, here, I got a rule for you about ice cream. All right. Here's
Okay.
your rule. The rule for ice cream is the same rule for women. Okay. The number of flavors in the ice cream is the same number of women you should want to have in your bed at the same time. 2,
Is there
I
a
say,
limit?
this is the point I'm trying to make, young man. You just listed off 7, 8 different flavors in one ice cream. You couldn't handle 7 or 8 women at one time. It'd be a pain in the ass. Don't even think. No, you wouldn't. You don't have enough appendages. You don't have enough penis. You don't have enough anything. You just couldn't do it. So you're not able to enjoy each 8 women or each 8 of the flavors. But if you got 2, maybe at most 3, I'll give you. Okay, then that's like the optimal amount.
But Aaron, that's
Here
14 to 16 tits. Could you imagine?
You only have 1 tongue and 2 hands, Jack.
Who cares?
What? They might be preoccupied with something else. What do you do? Play like a xylophone? They're all line up?
Oh, the beauty of youth.
Oh,
but would you deny if you'd had the opportunity? It's like, Cappy, 16 pair of tits. No, 16 tits, so 8 pair of tits
8
on
women.
redheads.
In a row. Dude, 8, no way. Dude, dating, not having sex at the same time with dating 4 was a pain in the ass time. There's not enough you to go around.
No, dating isn't involved.
Huh?
You just get them. You pay $5 for the ice cream, 8 pair of tits.
Dating, you can actually do 4 or more. You got to spread it out. Sex, you can't have sex with 8 women at once.
No,
that sounds great on paper. I guarantee you, Jack, if you actually had that happen, we're not saying you wouldn't have fun. You'd be like, that was chaos. It was pure chaos. And you probably want to go back down to 3, maybe even 2, because you can't, there's only so many hands. There's only so many appendages, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
There's going to be gals left out no matter your best efforts. No, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
No.
So
it would be fun, but
it'd be fun to try once, but then I think it would be one of those things like never again. Like, didn't you ever, I'm just trying to think, like when you were a kid, you think it'd be a great idea to take all the different types of sodas and mix it all together. Or maybe you were of drinking age. I'm like, I'm going to add gin and rumplements and whiskey and beer.
I remember that. Right. Oh, my friends got me with that one, though. They saved the glass in which I mixed it all. Right. But then I passed out. Then the next morning, they put it next to me. Like, you haven't finished your drink yet. I'm like, it was like black and gooey.
That's what happens. I think 2 would be ideal.
Yeah.
3, maybe.
I never pulled that off. I pulled off a threesome, but never a foursome.
Foursome's hard. Dude, you know the numbers on it where, I don't mean the statistics, but like the girl has to like the girl, and they both have to like you. Mm-hmm. Foursome, now you got to have 3 girls, got to like 3 people. I mean, okay, good luck.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I almost got them all 3 together, but one was like, "Is it never enough with you?" I'm like, no. But oh well. So that never happened. But the threesomes, it's like it's a bit overrated.
Hold it. You don't even like threesomes that much, and now you want to have a 48-some?
I mean, after the first threesome, it's like, but I never had that tonight, though. So yeah, the first time would be nice.
The first time, you keep chasing that white dragon, man. You keep chasing it, and you're never going to catch it.
No,
never going to.
I think you're never going to keep it. Know what I'm saying? Like, again,
dude,
like the first time.
One gal, you can't do the number of gals that would like. Friends with benefits, that maybe lasts at best 3 months at best. Girls that want to do threesomes, they'll do it once, and then it's I don't know, maybe twice, but then it's like, I don't know, where's this going? Like, yeah. No, you're not going to keep you're not going to keep your harem of women. You're just not.
No. You have to have some strong money or game in play to keep that going.
That's, you know what? And the honest truth is, if you want something out of women, what's the easiest way to get it?
You pay for it.
You just pay for it.
I never had to pay for it.
Well, you're young and you don't have any money either, Jack. But, you know, take all the money that you save from the United States military, paying for your military. Maybe you could go get. Yeah, it's just. You're coming up on the age where there might be actual opportunity costs now to chasing girls in your time, where you're like, you know.
Well, funny you should say that, because so I was dating this girl. She was a played in rotation, but she lives 1.5 hours away. And she happened to be in the neighborhood yesterday because her brother lives by. And she wanted to come by and things like that. So things happened. And she wanted to go for another round. And I'm like, no, I want to do other things. Because I treated myself on a new set, which I wanted to build. And she wanted to go again. I'm like, don't you have to see your brother? It's like, even Watson agrees with me. He's like, there are so many more interesting things to do than deal with a woman who is so-called not satisfied. I don't care anymore. Like,
well, and you've also you've done the 30 by 30. It's nothing new.
No.
Sometimes you just want to watch what's on TV. Getting old. Yeah.
It just becomes, I don't know. Like, you mentioned it before. Like, you've had sex. You know how it goes. They don't even feel different anymore. You know what differentiates women? Yeah, I said that.
I would say boobs.
No, and it may sound soft, but it really is how they behave besides the whole bed thing. Like, can they sit next to you, shut up, and appreciate what you enjoy? It's like,
not at your age, no.
No.
Not at your age, no. They're still because you're what, 30, if that even?
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine how bitter I am.
Well, like, you sound as pissed as Rob, and Jesus, he's got like 30 years on you, so he's all like, let me tell you something, Jack. I get these women going, I want to just eat my damn taco. I come to this great Mexican restaurant. These women talking like, well, you gotta shut up, woman. I want to eat my taco.
I mean, they are out there. I mean, I've had great girls who could, when I was busy, they just sit next to you. They do their own thing. It's like, hey, you want to do something easygoing? Go for a hike, whatever. Enjoy the moment, maybe.
Right.
But then you have some of them, they're like, we need to do this. We need to do that. We're going to do this. But no. We're just going to be. It's all that's going to happen.
I'm glad I'm not your age anymore. All right. We got super chats here. Well, because I don't have to deal with that crap anymore.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Yeah, you get tired of their shit. It really, I don't know if you tuned in earlier on the show, but I was talking about like how I heard the neighbor gal, she was crying and sobbing uncontrollably. And I look back to like in my 20s when that would happen. I'm like, and you stop, you look at it with old man eyes. You're like, that's unacceptable. Yeah. Like, I don't care what's happening. I mean, maybe if your parents died or something tragic, but if a guy's breaking up with you, whatever it is, crying, sobbing uncontrollably for an hour like a 3-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. No, man the fuck up, get your emotions and be reasonable and like the completely unhinged, untethered for all emotion. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. I know. And I look back, and I look back at it now and like, you being a younger man, you're still in there. That's what I'm like.
It's remarkable how fast they stop crying when you call them out on it. Mm-hmm. It's like remarkable.
It's a switch.
Yeah.
On or off. You know, you get to handle that now. I don't have to handle that now.
Yeah.
I just get to sit here and go to the doctor and have people shove the finger up my ass. Say, you don't have cancer. All right. All right. Competent man for $5. That day is already here. At one customer site, I had to take a few hours for a seminar and stand with my group holding a sign about empowering women. Oh, okay. Competent man was talking about, we're talking about how food needs to be clean from where it's picked all the way to when it's served and put in your mouth. Mm-hmm. And there's a certification process. And I was talking about how I worry more about humans being dysfunctional and not being able to make safe bridges or prepare safe food.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, for example, like if you got an 8-hour seminar, but you're going to waste an hour of it not teaching people how to safely handle food, but empower women or, Black Lives Matter. Sure enough, here it is, customer side of a few hours for a seminar and stand with my group holding a sign about empowering women. It's a tax. That's a tax. We're here to make widgets. You're taking, and we can't make widgets without what commodity makes everything?
How do you mean?
There's only one commodity that is required to make anything. I mean, there's multiple commodities that go into the production, but without this one, nothing gets done.
Time.
So here you have, understand what all this struggle sessions and anything falling under the domain of affirmative action. Okay. All of it at corporate and government and business entities. All that is a tax. Mm-hmm. That's just a tax to make other people feel good about themselves. It increases the cost of everything around us. It lowers our standards of living. It lessens GDP. It lessens profits. It affects our pensions and retirement funds because more profits would have resulted in higher prices for our investments. It pisses us off. It takes a toll on us psychologically. But the womans, oh my God, no, it's not even no North American white woman need suffer discomfort. It's they have to be perpetually happy and delusionally entertained in their false ideological religion. And that is, you're all doing things so well to help the fill in the blank type of disadvantaged group of people. This guys and gals, you work for corporate America as long as you need to, and then you get the fuck out and you 1099 it, or you self-employ it, or you contract or something, or you work remotely, but you do, guys, come on, just refuse. If they say, well, we have, whatever, diversity fest, I'm not participating. No, I come here to work. Mm-hmm. And before, no, I guess, because the day is coming that all that will be left is politics and all the real work will have been outsourced. So don't even bother. I mean, just refuse. Life is too short. ETC Shadow, $5. Yo, Cap, if I told you for every calculus and physics classes I take, 10 girls in the class offered hardcore sex to do their test, what would you say? Well, you look pretty jacked, ET Shadow. I could believe it. Yeah, but I wouldn't believe it in general. Because what's wrong with that? Why is that a false presentation or a false question? What's wrong with that question?
Offer you after you do the test.
No. Yo, Cap, if I told you for every calculus and physics class I take, 10 girls. So for every class, 10 girls offer sex. Why do I know he's lying? Maybe not maliciously. He's just saying it's just a riddle.
Because females don't take calculus and physics.
Right. 10 girls in one class? Get the fuck out of here.
Not gonna happen.
Like if this is a sociology class, yeah, or early childhood babysitting. I mean, education class, yeah, sure. But 10 girls in a calculus class? 10 girls in a physics class?
Physics is racist.
Everything's racist.
Yeah.
So nothing is.
Or was it math? Math is racist. That was it. Yeah, they actually said that a while back. It's like, come on.
It's all. Well, I may have to go and log in and get to the other super chats. All right, hang on. We'll take a break here in a second. I'm gonna log in and go and get the missed ones. I think we missed. The Competent Man for $5. I marvel how people listen to people who do not know what the fuck they are doing. The only reason I could see this is that it is people want stuff for nothing. There is a whole class of consultants and academics for using diversity and inclusion specialists as an example who don't know anything. They literally know. I'm not saying I disagree with them. I'm not saying that they don't have a business model. I'm not saying these people don't exist, but they know nothing. They had a gal out here in Minnesota, of all places. She was going to do a seminar on how to eradicate your whiteness, or how to heal or cure your whiteness. And it's like, and it was sponsored by the U of M, and she has a consulting company. Now she's probably losing money. I went to her website, and you think Asshole Consulting is a shitty website? You should see this gal's website. Like barely anyone takes this, it makes great headline news, but this woman is dying of poverty and, of course, living off of the government because no one's going to sign up for that thing. But that woman, who has a doctorate, I believe, wasted 8 years in college learning nothing. I mean, there's, and just because they're in a suit and your employer or your professor or your school says you must listen to this person in the suit with the lectern. You ever watch a TED Talk?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people don't know anything.
Yeah,
it's just
true.
Just pointing that. You ever watch the news?
Yeah, same thing.
You have sports ball?
Same thing.
All right. Political analysis?
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, there are so many people that don't know nothing. It's just turn them off, don't you?
It's all halo effect. Like, this man has a suit and he's well groomed and he's got a nice haircut, so he must know what he's talking about.
He must.
And then this yelling man in his Goodwill clothing and his cap of 20 years old. He doesn't know.
This is not 20. I got this 5 years ago. I won a bet in Chicago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
5-year-old hat. It's practically.
You stole that of a dead man as well.
No, I didn't steal this off a dead man. I do have some dead man's clothes.
I know. I was referring to that.
Oh. Well, what are you supposed to do with the clothes? Throw them away?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, most people I knew that died and didn't fit.
Free shirt's a free shirt, man. I mean, come on. Warrior Race. New guy here, $10. Got a motorcycle there. Cappy, how soon should I move out of the U.S. time frame as a shady, slick Spanish? Does he mean Spaniard?
Yeah.
Shady, slick Spaniard. I'm thinking Eastern Europe or South America. What do you think would be better, or what countries do you recommend? Well, right now, that's what I got to figure out. I wish I had the answer. I'm like, oh, yeah, here's the list. What I'm generally thinking, Southeast Asia, ideally Singapore. Malaysia is also pretty good. There's websites out there like Nomad Capitalist, Sovereign Man. So I'm not the foremost expert in this field. I do like the Baltics. I was looking at Ireland, but they're like, Dubai maybe, but that's not exactly a place you'd call home. I'll have more to report back when I get back home. But this is going to be a year-long process. But how soon should you move? It's not should you move, because you're going to have to uproot yourself here and go over there. It's how soon can you get a sizable nest egg overseas that if the shit goes down here, you're not that immigrant story. Oh, he came to the United States with $3 in his pocket. No, he moved to, and I guess, well, here's one you might think if you're Spanish and if you're Spanish and fluent. If you're fluent in Spanish, I hear good things about Panama, Costa Rica. A lot of Americans go to, but I've heard a lot of good things about Panama. Maybe the Dominican Republic. And then also I would say take a look at Belize, though they speak English there. So your language skills would probably serve well. I'm not a big fan of South America. I haven't seen anything good happen. It looks like Chile, the one stable country, looks like that's about to undo their constitution to make things more fair. See, everything's going to be fair. So it's but here's what you can do. 2 resources. One, the OECD. Go online, research the OECD. And then the second thing is the Economist Intelligence Unit, which you'll have to go and get for free at the library. Otherwise, it's incredibly expensive. And I just kind of start there. The World CIA Fact Book is also something to consider, but that's just going to give you your basic 1, 2, 3s about the economy. But I got that's my next project. I'd like to work on other things or go have fun, but that's my next project.
Mm-hmm.
ETC Shadow for $10. He's been very generous today. New guy. Chick, you're like good with computers, right? Me, yeah. What about Chick? Could you help me build a computer for streaming? What streaming for? Whatever for. Me.
Education.
You want me to do work for you and I don't get anything? Go away. Do you hear that interview that Rollo had with Andrew Tate?
Yes.
Where Andrew Tate explained that he takes about 90% of the money that the women generate, and they accept that. Why?
Because they don't know how to work with computers.
Wrong. They
taxes.
Choose not to learn how to work with. Can women work with computers?
Okay. Yeah, right. Women can.
They can. Yeah. Can women do accounting?
Yep.
Are women surgeons?
Yep.
Are there women pilots?
Yep.
I even know a woman, oil rig worker.
Really?
Women can do it. They choose not to. That's it, ladies. If you don't like that and it hurt your feelings, file it with the Department of here. All right there. I'm trying to actually help you so you close the fucking wage gap. But this is very standard, very typical, where the girls just want to take pictures and they don't want to do the work. They just don't want to do the work. And so what you should do, ETC, dude, here's what ETC is basically the opportunity he's being presented with. And I recommend every guy do this. She's asking him to be her digital pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you handle all the business and the management. All she's got to do is take the pictures and whatnot. And if you do that, here's what you do. You set up an LLC, you get your PayPal account, and you say, all right, I'll do this for you, but it's going under my company. I'm taking half the money. All right. I get half your money. And then all the money, all the donations on the whatever, fans only or the super chats or whatever. OnlyFans, whatever, whatever. The Bob's and Vagine show. He takes half, he pays her out half, boom, done. He gets 5 or 6 gals, he's done. He's finished. And he doesn't have to work again.
Nope, never.
We'll get nonstop Trey here, and then we'll take a break, and I'll go find the rest of the super chats that we missed.
Yeah, I can't stay for too long, by the way.
Yeah, I got to get going as well. But Cappy, they say in studies suggest you are toxic. Yes, I am toxic. I have a penis. I'm toxic. And you know, when they suggest or they say or research shows, it's 100% true.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to go find it, and I'm going to go gargle with some mouthwash to get my voice back, and then we'll be back.
Yeah, well, good luck. You know what? I'm going to wrap this up for today. I'm going to see you next time. Thanks for having me.
Sounds good. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll catch up with you later, right?
Yeah.
All right, see you. Jack Napier, everybody, you can find him Red Evening, him and Rob of robsays.net do the show. All right, everyone take a break. I'll be back in a minute here. Okay, we are back, and we let's go through the missed super chats that we missed. Thank God, Donovan Sharp again showed me how to do this. Check out Donovan Sharp on his channel. Siddick and Keith Jack, Cappy won't last a month overseas. I didn't last a month overseas. I barely lasted 2 weeks. I'm going to have to give me the choice between, food that's small and expensive, but there versus communism and a bunch of psychopaths that are all obsessing about the plumbing down below and what their skin color is. JD for 5 Great British Pounds. Our 100 years war, 113 years, was perfectly justified. I'm not saying it's how long ago? Wasn't it like the 17 or 1600s? It was the French's fault for having territory we wanted. It all began with William I. Ice Nose for $5. Hey, Jack, sing Ziverv Lute song when Cappy takes a pee break. Pat Hine paid my hometown a visit back in the 1620s. Then we got ETC Shadow. Of course, there's the poop from Atham. I think that's all we got. Yep, I think we caught up with them. Yeah, bumper sticker, profile services. Boom, we caught them all up. That was great. All right, guys, we did that. Any new ones? Let's make sure. Making sure. Look who's here. Hey, Schmo Boy, you want to come on? Let me go see if Chad wants to come on. Although I'm not going to stick around for too much longer. We only got a couple more items here to do. Let me find Elkins. Elkins, by the way, has started to learn to drive again. He went back home. How do I add this? Elkins, I'm going to send you a link to join the show if you want to join. God, where the hell are you? Oh, here you are. I want to hear about your driving escapades. If your parents are letting you take the car to take out Susie Jenkins to the high school prom. All right. Iron Eagle, 145. Great movie when you're younger to watch. Sure, if you watch it now as an adult, you probably hate it. $5. What will the liberals cry about next when Biden becomes a silver alert? Kamala becomes president as a woman in different race and still fails them. You have to understand it's a religion, and it's not religion. It's gone beyond that. It's a cult. The power of laziness is so strong among people that if you give them an excuse, they will destroy themselves. A perfect example is the black community. Hey, as long as we tell you you don't have responsibility, none of this is your fault, stop having kids you can't afford, don't major in stupid things, don't commit crimes, which again is the advice you give everybody to avoid poverty. As long as we tell you that and you vote for us, we'll tell you it's not your fault. It's you, and they will go into poverty. That what's the word I'm looking for? Not destabilize. You deactivate them. You power them down, so now they don't take matters into their own hands. I don't mean in a illegal or violent sense. I mean like, oh, I have to get myself. Oh, well, what should I do? Well, I should go get engineering. I should go do X, Y, and Z. Maybe join the military. Now they're like, what? You're going to take care of this problem for me? All right, I'll just flip this coin over here. All right. And so, but they'll never once do they want to hear that they have to do responsibility. Never once. We just talked about it. No girl wants to hear, hey, you got to do the engineering and the math. You got to STEM. You got to code. They don't want to hear that. As long as there's somebody willing to tell them otherwise, they will ruin their life. They will believe. They so desperately want to believe it because they don't want to do the work. They'll look for any way out. I'll give you a third example. Fat chicks, anyone who put on a ton of makeup and the weaves and the bobs and the nice nails and everything and do the facey poo Photoshop thing. They look at how they've chosen. Look how the majority of American women have chosen to be. Do the majority of them go to the gym and lose weight to find a man? Or do they engage in this stupid, dumbass, essentially, what will we call it? Religious ceremony, this religious practice of putting on makeup, dolling themselves out, trying to look hot when they're like 50 pounds overweight. They will choose to live the lie rather than go and face the truth, because the truth tells them they have responsibilities and they have to work to succeed or to have success. And so what will the liberals cry about next when Biden becomes a silver alert, Kamala becomes president as a woman and different race and still fails them? They will blame the Republicans. They'll blame the white males. They'll blame males, and they'll blame white people, by the way. For the black gentleman in the community who happens to know, sometimes they'll blame you too. They're going to blame anyone, but we're going to blame the Jews. We're going to blame the Muslims. They will go so far as to blame space aliens if they have to. I mean, you saw this in communist Russia, where it was always capitalist saboteurs outside controlling internet. That's who it was. They'll find anything, and you know what? They'll believe it because they prefer to be lied to than rather be told they have to do something about it, and it's their fault. And they themselves at that. There's no doubt in my mind. They'll just blame a group. They'll find a scapegoat. Chad, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going great. You over in Santa Fe?
Yeah, I got a funny story for you. What happened yesterday? It's kind of off topic, but
don't tell me you crashed the car.
No, I almost hit a few trash cans, ran over a few old ladies. Sure. You know, some dogs were jumping into the road.
Extra points for the old ladies, by the way. Extra points.
They're probably all Democrats anyway. No, so I go downtown with my dad, and we're just kind of walking around. And there's this homeless person, and we had bought a bunch of packages of almonds, just like small ones, because I wanted some. So this guy is like, oh, you know, can you please help me, sir? You know, I'm hungry. So I'm like, okay, here. So I give him one of these little packs of almonds. I'm just like, whatever. Right. How do you think this bum responded? Like, what do you think happened after I did that?
I'm trying to figure out if he was thank you, but, or if he got pissed off. Was he pissed off it wasn't money? He's like, what the fuck is this? Is that what he said?
Worse. He was pissed off it wasn't beer.
He was pissed off it wasn't beer.
I handed it to him. He's like, don't you have any beer? Yank it right back and just
good.
Walk along.
There you go. That is like one of the simplest or brighter or more common anecdotal bits of evidence against leftist naivete about poor people are disadvantaged and truly can't do anything about it. They're the spoiled Bints and Quantahahas of our society. You have spoiled them rotten. They're worthless pieces of degenerate scum. Guarantee you take away all their free food, you take away all their free shit, guess what will happen?
Well, they'll just go back to being bums. I mean,
unless they're mentally ill, they will go find a job.
Oh, I see.
Okay. They will. But yeah, I've another reason I'm looking to get out. Like you got bums that are now insisting on beer.
Yeah.
You socialists could go fuck yourselves. Just fuck you. So, well, what's going on? You coming back to Chicago then pretty soon? And have you honed your driving skills? You're fresh, you're ready to go?
I'm going to drive all the way back home. No, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I only have about 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. I'm meeting, this is a pretty decent story. When I was here 4 years ago, visiting my parents for the first time after they bought the place, I ended up meeting up with a friend of with a friend who met me through your work 4 years ago. Like we went to a cigar lounge, and
I think I got pictures of that, don't I?
Yeah, we sent you one where we were both, flicking you off.
Yeah.
And
as per usual, yes.
So every time I come here, we get together, and so in about 45 minutes, we're gonna go to lunch. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Cool. What's it like visiting your parents? Like, is it a new experience for you and everything? I mean,
no, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's relaxing. The weather here is fantastic. I don't know what it's like back home. My mom's cooking good stuff for me. Offers me 6 different types of cheeses.
Right.
10 different types of coffees. So yeah, pretty good.
And when she asks you if you want something, you say?
Just say yes.
Yes. If any of you run into Mrs. Elkins, the answer is yes.
Even if you don't want it. Yeah, say yes.
Because if you say no, what happens, Chad?
Then you will be presented with all types of different alternatives. No does not mean no with my mom. And I mean that very lovingly.
And the number of alternatives is so long that you will die before she gets through them all. So just say yes to the first thing.
Yeah.
And then you can move on. And it's you're free to go. All right, I got a couple super chats here. Cynic and Chief, $2. Foul Captain. Foul Capitalism Captain on Tube You at Spot Play. Dang it, you know, Cynic and Chief has like a monstrously high IQ, but the problem is he's also clever with a little bit of lip, which makes him a great guy. But then we get to suffer this. You see, we get to suffer the insults every once in a while.
I'm monitoring the chat on my phone.
Okay, cool. All right, we already answered Iron Eagle. The Competent Man, $2 at 11 a.m. today, 101 years ago. World War I ended. Yeah,
cool.
We're only 6 minutes away from that on my time. I presume that must be Greenwich Meridian, Greenwich Meanwood, GMT time, Grand Meridian time.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think that.
Yeah. We ended it there.
Let me read this next one.
All right.
$5 DJ Aftershock. Dude, bro, Chad, like my soccer mom wife in Herndon is forcing me to vote for Biden because of the feels, and my daughter goes to school at Washington and Lee. Do you know where Herndon is?
Is that over in Washington, D.C. area?
Yeah, it's like
a
suburb of D.C., and it is the richest, most like lush, leafy. It's one of the best, most expensive suburbs in all of the USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is it, like Marin County, I guess, of the East Coast?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd call it that.
What's really great is all these rich people in the rich liberal areas, especially Silicon Valley. I can't wait. You see, they're already getting hurt being in California. But man, that frog will stay in that boiling pot of water for a long time. And so I can't wait till at a national level they start taxing rich people, like really rich people. Now the Republican Congress might stop it, but I if they ever do get their socialism, which I think they will, there's going to be so many people in Marin County and Washington, D.C. area, Virginia, all these liberal Mercer Island is another perfect example in Seattle, where it's predominantly leftist and like, oh my gosh, we voted them. We're not those people, but why are there people shitting in our streets? And like, fuck you, you rich people, but we vote Democrat. We have a BLM sign. Yeah. They're going to come for them. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We could actually retire if we wanted to. If we went after Silicon Valley and Marin County wealth and like we went after liberal, wealthy billionaire types, we could. I mean, now it would really harm the economy, but we could retire most of the U.S. debt if we wanted to do that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, we just take it all or like 90% of it. And the only problem is you got to find a counter buyer for all that. Like the government, let's say the government went in and took, I don't know, $20 trillion worth of property, stocks, bonds, things like that. Well, they got to go raise the money on the other end. And, you know, like where do you, I guess the Federal Reserve would print it off. And then the Federal Reserve, what would the accounting be? The Federal Reserve or the U.S. government just gets the stocks and then the Federal Reserve buys it from them for cash. And now these assets are on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet and they slowly sell it off into the market.
Yeah, I would think so.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how that would work in terms of reporting, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. DJ.
How was your trip east?
Oh, it was good. No, it was great actually hanging out with Vince and James and Donovan. Donovan is cool as you think he is in person. His studio is pretty sweet and pimp. But I guess Donovan's a little bit of a lightweight. Yeah. All he just had two little whiskeys and Cokes, and that was about it. And also he's like, oh, and him and I were talking about it, but he wakes up pretty early, gets an early bedtime. We had a 2.5 hour podcast. We had to leave early because we had the dinner reservations. And he's busy, man. And so you could just see it was like your old uncle after eating a chicken or a turkey dinner and Thanksgiving, and he has 2 drinks. He's just like, oh, like I can't drive. I think I'm gonna get an Uber and we're gonna go home and go to bed. So, but it was fine. It was just, you could just tell he's like, yeah, I'm getting sleepy. And, but there was some transport problems Planes got rescheduled. Yeah, I flew first class. That was cool.
On Spirit.
No, it wasn't Spirit. American Airlines.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. I don't think Spirit flies out to Philadelphia. But no, it was a good time. But I'm looking forward to the day where I don't have any more interviews, which I got interviews probably scheduled out to December. I'm going to be on potentially. Don't quote me on this. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. Guess whose show I might be on?
Ooh, Roosh?
He's from Chile, and he's a professional economist.
I am a huge fan of Coach Red Pill.
Coach
I don't
Red
care
Pill,
what anybody
yeah.
says. Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their criticisms of everyone else, but yeah, I might be on Coach Red Pill's show. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. But you want to do a real quick? Oh, what do we want to do? You want to hear stupid?
Sure. 10 minute. Hard.
Right.
I gotta go 10 minutes. Yeah.
Sounds fine. From our local news, it's Care 11. K-A-R-E. It's so caring. Districts consider switching models due to rising COVID-19 cases. As COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations climb in Minnesota, parents like Kim Schweiters are monitoring the data closely. She has 2 children attending Matamidi High School, which on Thursday joined a list of school facilities reporting 5 or more confirmed cases. Is that a lot?
No. I mean,
5 out of what? 1,000 students? Doesn't. The numbers today when they came out were disheartened. Oh, the numbers today when they came out, we were disheartened, Schweiters said. Schweiters and other parents have been planning a rally on Thursday after learning earlier this week the district might consider switching secondary schools from hybrid to full distance learning. She said they canceled the rally after finding out the high school had joined a list of schools with 5 or more cases, feeling it might be inappropriate timing and unsafe to gather. Are you already confused about where this gal sits or what the hell's going on? Because I sure as heck were.
I'm not really following this that well.
And that was my point. She and her other board soccer moms were going to do a rally. Okay. But then they weren't because now 5 of the students, and Mo might not be sick. Okay. These women have no fucking clue where they stand or what they're doing. All right. 5 doesn't sound like a lot. By the way, father not been reached for comment.
Of course.
And I'm just kind of reading through the article. I'm sure if we wanted to figure out where people stood and what's going on, we could. But the thing I drew from this is these gals really don't know what the fuck they're doing. These parents, these Matamidi, the suburbs, these suburbanite parents, you guys don't know what you want. You never really wanted your kids anyway. I think they were going to bitch and whine about the kids coming back home from school. And I know you don't want to raise your own kids or have the responsibility of raising your kids because career more important, fish, bicycle, girl boss. But then they're also so easily programmable and dupable that now that, oh my gosh, but there were 5 infections. Like, well, we were going to hold a rally, but now we're not because they're all safety bunnies. They're like overreaction. Like, if it just saves one life. And so they're so conflicted. They're running around, not knowing what the right hand's doing with the left hand. Their head is chopped off. They have no clue what they're doing. That's what I got from this. It's like, there's so many things that conflict her and be like, oh, I don't want my kids coming home. So we're going to do a rally, which makes me ask, well, wait, if you got time to do a rally, you and the other board trophy wives, well, don't you have time to kind of take care of your kids? But there might be 5 infected kids, but now it's too dangerous to hold the rally. Like, why should I listen to these people? Who gave them the right to vote? Frankly, is what I'm like. Why are you even being interviewed by Care 11?
You know what? So they announced that Biden had won. I think it was Saturday. Mm-hmm. And in Chicago, of course, all the people, these they go rushing the streets. They're like, yeah, all around each other, no masks. And it's like nobody said anything about how that you're not technically supposed to do that during COVID. Like, not a word. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
There is a ton of cognitive dissonance. There's a ton of hypocrisy. There's a ton of we want to eat our cake and want to have our cake and eat it too. I know laziness is the ultimate fuel that drives this hypocrisy. but this was just such, the article was well written. It's just that you had to sit and read through it to figure out, oh, this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, this is another little, this goes into a little mark on the column, you know, another mark, a little slash on the column of reasons to get out of the United States. These are going to be this is your standard person now. This is your average person who cannot, like, you know, have principles, have ethics, follow those principles and ethics, have critical thinking, put their emotions aside, put the fear aside, and hold on to a policy and say, I do want my kid back. Oh, we can't have, we're not going to have kids go to school anymore. Fine. I will take the responsibility of being a parent and educate and raise my child. Nope, not going to happen. And so that's what, lazy. And it's ultimately laziness. It's all laziness. So that was that there. So that's what the trophy wives of suburbanite Minneapolis are worried about. You want more Minneapolis news?
Always. It's so heartwarming.
Minneapolis City Council president, who's not the mayor, I guess it's elected as president, so like the vice president of the city council, won't seek re-election next year. According to an email sent to constituents, the council member from the city's 10th ward made the decision not to run for a full third term well before the onset of the coronavirus pandemic and the unrest, the riots and protests following the killing of George Floyd. During my time in office, I've learned so much about people, about power, and how systems work to support or stop change, she wrote. I still believe in the power of each and every person to make a difference. This is a child who has learned jack fuck all shit and is going to continue to do jack fuck all shit. I have seen it. More than anything, I want each of you to know that you are powerful, that what you do and say matters, that the future you imagine is possible. No, because your city is burnt down, you dumb fucking bitch. During her time in the city council, Minneapolis passed the $15 minimum wage laws, earned sick time, remade streets for better support cycling, and eliminated single-family home zoning under controversial ambitious Minneapolis 2040 plan. So single-family homes can no longer be built in Minneapolis because that's privilege. So more than anything, I want each of you to know that you are powerful, that what you do and say matters, that the future you imagine is possible. What if some immigrant from an impoverished country comes to Minneapolis? He wants the American dream where he has a single family home, just a little yard, and gets to mow and maybe, I don't know, trampoline out back for the kids. Can he have that dream?
No.
No, because single family home zoning has been eliminated.
Yeah.
Under Minneapolis. So I could look her up here. What's Lisa Bender? Let's get a real quick Clarey test on it. Lisa Bender, Wikipedia. She's a little bit younger than me. Career, moved to New York City, direction of communication and a nonprofit. Work on biking, walking, non-motorized transportation. Work for San Francisco city planner. Worked for Hennepin County Department of Transportation, Safe Routes to Schools program. In other words, the taxpayer just created money as an affirmative action welfare jobs program for this woman. Personal life. I just want to, she lives in the rich part of it. This is where the rich white people live. I just want to find out where her degree is in, if anything.
Edina?
No, she lives in like the Kenwood area. Trying to figure out. No, this is Minneapolis City Council. What's her degree in? A BA in something and an MA, probably city planning, something worthless like that. So she's left. Has she done anything to help out the citizens of Minneapolis?
Of course not.
No, but did the citizens of Minneapolis make her rich and wealthy and not have to really work a real job? Not to mention San Francisco.
Yes, that's what it's
Right.
like when you get positions like that.
You want a privileged white bitch? Here you go. They should be in the dictionary, privileged white bitch. There you go. Oh, but she says the nice Democrat things and give me free money's not my fault. So she's one of the good people. I can't wait. Kind of hope if there would be riots and I just put signs that said rich white people here and it all point to Kenwood. All right.
I got to get moving, but you have a bunch of super chats. I want to sort of skip to one from Ahmad Khan because he's asking me a question.
Okay, let's get to Ahmad.
Yeah.
There he is, Ahmad. Ahmed, not
Yeah.
Ahmad. That's Ahmed.
Ahmed Khan.
He's one of the regular guys.
Oh yeah, he likes to contribute interesting questions. $1.99. Chad, have you ever had a health scare? Also, hey Cap. Yes, I told you about this a long time ago. When I was 15, I was absolutely certain that I had multiple sclerosis, and there were tests done, and everything. It got pretty scary for a while. So yes, I have had a health scare.
Speaking of that, I get to go and make sure that my liver is perfectly all right today, and that little dot they found on it has remained a dot, and nothing's bad. So I get to go and get the ultrasound. So
well, you hardly drink.
Yeah, I hardly drink. So I'm surprised after all the drinking I did, there was nothing wrong with it. That's what I was kind of shocked at. Iron Eagle 145 for $10. Charlotte, North Carolina now has a tent city full of bums post-COVID. Thinking about investing in the Thunderdome game, like where the hobos fight for beer. One dies, the other drinks, thus thinning the herd. Dude, you got people shitting in the streets in this country in tents. I'm just getting the fuck out of here. It's just, this is not a mature population. This is not a population of adults. You have a population of spoiled little petulant children, either spoiled by suburb money or government money. You can all go fuck yourselves. Noah Costa, $2 need a $15 minimum wage, says millennial.
200 Nikes.
200 Nikes. Right. Or $100,000 in debt for worthless degree. And Busako Man for 229 euros. Cappy, what are the odds of election fraud? Well, I'd say 100%. I mean, there's always some.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's always been the case, but I don't know. That's what someone's paying me. Well, maybe paying me to do. I'm going to go look into that if this person pays me. Cause that was a Clarey test request. But I don't know if they paid.
I got to bounce. Yeah. Be back tomorrow. So we'll stream again sometime soon.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you later.
Right.
You know what? I'll end it here. You want to take us out appropriately?
Oh, sure. Toodles.